Just readjust that. Like, I want it to be there in the background and, like, recognizable. But I don't want it to be just awfully over the top loudness-wise. That should work. So, anyway. I'll just open this. YouTube is not maintaining enough... I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I set the bitrate or low. Yeah, it's lower bitrate, but it should work. I mean, I'm not really getting drop frames. Anyway, aside from just wasting time, this is a randomised car. I mean, I've put the wheel in here. I've not put the name in properly, but this is a randomised vehicle, and it did some interesting things. It's like, it was building this, it gave me a body-on-frame structure. If I just go back to model design and along here, yeah. So it's given me a body-on-frame construction. Can pause that so it doesn't take all my bandwidth up. Got a body-on-frame construction, as I keep saying over and over again. And then it went with a pretty basic ladder chassis, which isn't so bad because this car is under a ton. And it is a small saloon. Kind of looks like a hatch, but it is technically a saloon because it has a traditional kind of boot on there. As you'll see, the whole intercooler sticks out, which is why I dragged the front forward so much. This is only a 1.8 meter wheelbase, by the way, because I made it as small as possible. Like as I said, it went transverse, and then it's like, oh, I can't give him leaf springs on the front. So it gave me, gave me the one option there, which is the one option that's allowed. And then I got leaf springs. Hi, Kat. I am designing something. Yeah. I mean, I need to finish designing this, so just having an idea with what to do. I mean, I don't know what to name it either. I've got the name up here, which I haven't decided upon yet. But I just don't know where I'm going to take it exactly. It does need actually a infotainment screen as well, because even though it looks like it's from the 1940s, the wheel decided that, and I must honour it. I think I might also give it one mirror, because it kind of fits the car. They didn't always have two at the time. I'll just try and put that into position. Kind of, there's a mirror feature there, so I get rid of that and it'll just give me one mirror instead of two. I mean, it gave me the Core 2 Duo colour, so I feel like I have to give this car loads of chrome and run the Core 2 Duo look. Which is like blue and silver. I also think I need another rear bumper. That would look decent. At least I hope it'll look decent. That would save time over having to redo everything. Lower that. I thought, yeah. I mean, I was going to do writing today, but I wasn't feeling it, and I'm not doing a stream where I'm just going to completely ruin the stream by being miserable about it. Probably do that tomorrow. This is not, it's not lined up, I don't think. But yeah, I mean, I should have been doing writing kind of thing, but I don't know. Is this a line to service? I don't know. There's like, there should be lock into place, but it's not actually locking into it anywhere. Probably just add another bumper at this point. That just doesn't want to lock to the middle at all. I have no idea what's going on there. Usually it does. So the whole intercooler and everything is like, I've had to extend the front of the car to hide that stuff. Just barely fits. I mean, I might have to have a rear view mirror technically, because I don't think they were something you could cheap out on at the time, which I'm trying to run with. I wonder if I could go with a crazy rear wing. I think that could look funny. Yes! I mean, I don't know why it's not locking to the middle, though. Like, it usually does that, and it makes things a lot easier to position. Is it that it's thinking it's in 3D mode and it's on 2D? I do not know. I think if I reopen the car, I should be able to get it working. Being a bit strange. Hey, at least it's not being slow to load up the car. That's definitely beneficial. There's also various stuff I can do with the, not alignment, the suspension tuning. I don't know why this doesn't lock. It's not given me this issue before though, that's the strangest thing. I find that lock or unlock fixture. Snap to angle, will that be it? No. I wish I knew what I was doing. I could just try reopening the game, but I feel I'm missing something so obvious. There's clone fixture in place. Yeah, I think I'll have to reload the game because at this point... Yeah, I mean, that's not working right now for me. I could say, maybe turn the music down a little. Maybe that's going to work better. Because it should be snapping into the middle when I move it on, but it just isn't doing that. There is the icon. I don't think I'm dropping frames now. Should be loading in again now. Got my big head in the way of the wheel on my cover image. I don't know why it's taking so long to load it in. Load the game up now, I mean. What can I mess around with on OBS, I wonder? There is a wheel window, but that's not up at the moment. Not got Chrome up at all. Finally, automation has finally decided to open. No idea why, it was just deciding to completely freeze up for a while. Now hopefully this will work when I load the car in again. Sometimes it throws up the weirdest issues. I'm sure before I started streaming this loaded in quickly. But now it's taking ages. I have a lot of mods, yes, but it usually doesn't take this long to load up. All I can say, at least it's working. I probably shouldn't say it could be worse, because we know what that causes. God, at least I've got my other cars showing up. Hi, Revo. I am struggling with automation. It is not wanting to snap things to the middle. And I'm probably missing something, but... I don't know, it wouldn't lock them in, so I restarted the game and saw if it's trying to see if it would work. There we go. Now it's snapping things to the middle. Like, it wasn't doing that last time I had the game open. Anyway, this is the randomised car. I've given it a massive ring, because why not? I thought it would work. This is actually a sedan, saloon type body, but it looks kind of like a hatch. Yeah, this was something that the wheel made me build. I'm blaming the wheel for my own issues. But yeah, this is something. I can go through it again. It's got a fiberglass body, a ladder frame, a transverse flat 6 engine with a turbo, and a double wishbone leaf suspension config. It's strange. It does kind of look like a Fiat 600, but maybe that's what the body is from. I don't know. I just chose the smallest thing that could fit the engine, which is a 1.8 meter wheelbase, because it said I can use a small saloon. So I fully intended to take advantage of that part of a prompt and get the best body for weight. This is it's under a ton, so it is light, just under a ton. But it's also a medium cross-ply tyres, which are not the greatest, and 10-inch wheels to get a little more width from the tyres. There is also yeah, it's a ladder chassis, so I've gone with a simpler chassis. I was playing around with this before the stream. There's ways to actually make that look like an actual ladder chassis, so that works out on this. But for now, I will want to go chassis, okay. I can make it chrome. I might just make it blue. I don't know. It works with the exterior colour. I did randomise the colours though, and I have been allowed blue. The honour of it all. The door cards and the dash are actually kind of blue as well, because it did select a basic interior. So that's something that has happened. I mean, there is no exhaust. I could do something fun with the exhaust, actually, like I've done with the wing. Hopefully I can now also get the bumper working, because, as I say, before I restarted the game, it wasn't actually loading in the... It wasn't loading in the snap to middle thing. Oh, I can zoom like that by pressing both mouse buttons. I'm sure I've done that before, but I keep forgetting that I can actually do that. I want to move that right down there, but it doesn't want to. There we go, finally. I mean, it's a curious vehicle. Can extend that out a little. There is exhaust. Now, I could go crazy and add, like, loads of exhausts. I mean, it has to have front and rear downforce as well. The Chevrolet Cavalier, wasn't the Chevrolet... I don't know, because I feel like I did see a Vauxhall Cavalier. It was definitely a Vauxhall Cavalier. And that was a Toyota. I don't know, I have to look up... Well, it was a Vauxhall or Opel, I'm sure, as well. Okay, so that's the Vauxhall, and then... What's the Chevrolet? No, they're apparently completely different. The Chevrolet Cavalier looks kind of like a Mitsubishi Eclipse wannabe. For lack of a better explanation. Not made up. No, I mean, there was definitely a Vauxhall Opel Cavalier, but it's a completely different car. So that's interesting. But there was one under that market name as well, should I say. So, and it's strange because it's both GM companies. So they're using that name on two completely different cars, but with the same name. So I've got to get the tail lights. That looks like it's eyeing you in a strange way. Like, I saw what you did to that other car. I don't trust you. Probably shouldn't trust me as a car designer. That's probably actually a good idea to avoid trusting me. I think it needs... Ah, yes. I was going to say it needs a nose. There is actually the badge. The badge will be a good thing to act as a nose, I feel. Get the real badge together. Has a very strange expression on the back, but I don't dislike it. It is something. It does kind of look like a duck, but it is a nose in this context. I mean, I will add a Maxwell, so that's a thing. Wait, an AMG collab with Honda. The Honda Ballard AMG. Wasn't the Ballade, I don't know, is there the Ballard and the Ballade? I know there was a Ballade and it was basically a different name for the first gen CRX. And I don't know, the CRX was kind of a Civic as well. I think there was, I don't know much about it, but I think there may have also been an AMG collab with Mitsubishi on the, what was it called? The something before the Evo. Was it not Legacy? I'm trying to think. Galant VR4. I believe that was like an AMG version, or at least an AMG body kit or something. Strange things. I know that AMG though wasn't always like a Mercedes thing. I think they just mainly worked on Mercedes until they got joined to Mercedes. But I think for a while it was its own company. So that kind of would explain some of it. It is interesting though. Can bring this badge up here. I think I've tied this together a little actually just by adding the badges. I do want to do something with the suspension on this because it's got 400 horsepower. Doesn't look like it's got 400 horsepower and it probably shouldn't have, but it's got 400 horsepower. Weight balance isn't as bad as it may be either. It's like 63 front, which for a front wheel drive isn't actually as bad as you would expect given how big this engine is. Like a 3 litre in such a minuscule vehicle. Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I don't remember the Ballard, but I could just be missing something obvious. So I'll have a look at it. Oh, yeah, it says Ballade here, which does show a Civic, definitely. I think we will have got it here, but it would have probably just been called a Civic, because that looks like what I would know as a Civic. So that was probably how it was marketed. There is a different colour. Ah, so we've got this purple. This will be our hex code for the randomised purple. I'll control C that, and then I'll give it cloth seats because it's cheap. Yes, groovy purple interior. I don't know, it seems a bit out of place, but I can't say I dislike it. So we've got this. I think the dash doesn't actually fit very well, but I should be able to make it work. On car, I think if we go with this, oh, I can actually change the material. I can make it carbon fibre, which doesn't really suit this car. Steel. I can actually make it cloth again, but I'm not sure I want to do that. Winkle paint, yes. I mean, I don't know. I think cloth would actually kind of make sense on these door cards. We already have a cloth form of it. So there is that stuff. Yep, I got the dash to do as well. That piece can be made of a purple cloth. Try and honour the wheel's request for, or should I say demand, for me to use the purple. In some capacity. It looks weird. I mean, it's kind of a groovy interior, for lack of a better term, but that is a way to build a car. It's not perfect, but I think unless you're going super far into the back, you're never going to notice that that isn't perfect. Or close enough to perfect. Yeah. I mean, I can see the misspelling. It's fine. Like, the... Honestly, I would probably mistype that. If I was typing it quickly, I would probably mistype it. It's an easy enough mistake to make. So... I could get some pedals. I did actually look up the steering wheel, so I should be able to get the steering wheel working here. Because I now have the thing saved in some way, shape or form. I also did find the steering column in my winter car. I was looking in the complete wrong menu to try and get it. So it helped to have a little bit of background knowledge on it. And where it's found in the game. There's the pedals. It does have a 4-speed sequential, which honestly isn't that bad. The floor. There's this stuff, modular interior I could try and use. Now, there is like floor panels somewhere. And I think I can see a good place for Maxwell. It's probably quite easily visible, but yes, I see a good Maxwell bed space. It has only got 2 seats, technically. But I decided a bench seat would just make more sense, given the tiny size of the car. So... Oh, infotainment pack. Not what I was looking for, but I have found something. The wheel did ask for infotainment. I think it asks for, like, premium infotainment, which doesn't suit the car at all, but I must honour that. This is probably going to block the whole view of the road, but large touchscreens are in. They are the trend now, so we must use that trend. It doesn't even fit on the dash very much at all. This is actually like the perfect parody to those Tesla displays. It is blocking the speedometer though, so I'll have to move it over to the passenger side a little. Something like that. Can probably move it down a little. I don't know, something like that would work. This Chevy Forester, yeah. I mean, I could guess that was a Subaru. But it's one of those things, I would guess it and then I would be wrong. So, yay! I guessed correctly about a thing. That is terrible for visibility. It's like you've got... Because this car is so tiny, it's like you've got a 50-inch television screen in your car. But, as I say, the wheel did request a premium touchscreen. Or a premium infotainment system. So, yeah, this is a... insane vehicle. Not that I don't like it. I mean, I could give it speakers, but I think there might be a speaker built in there though. At least theoretically, which would be good enough. So, there's the floors. I've eventually found the floors, so... There is, this is going to have to go down here somewhere. I think if I not mirror that, if I flip it that way and then mirror it. Could probably actually, I've done that with another vehicle I was just messing around with, which will be shown later. Whereas I have this technically kind of like backwards because there doesn't have to be a central tunnel or anything. I feel like I'm missing the obvious here. Maybe if I do that... Ah, there it is. So some of these are more flat in the middle than others. I don't know, was it called... For Morris Minor, I would guess it was called the Miner because it was a car for miners. As in, like, the ones that go down in the mines. I don't know. I'm just guessing. I'm probably missing it, but somehow I feel like that would be the case. It was a little car for people that work in the mines. I mean, this is kind of like a Morris Minor in body shape. But it is not a Morris Minor mechanically. The Morris Minor probably made more sense mechanically, to be quite honest. I think the Morris Minor did use the same engine that ended up in the Mini. In some form of the tune. Those chassis arms are like in the interior. That's not ideal. So that is most of our interior. We do need a rear view mirror. I'm thinking just for craziness go with a massive rear view mirror. Because if I didn't go with a massive rear view mirror, then the interior wouldn't be obstructed and we can't have that. Do the old Challenger parts have a mirror? I don't think they do. It's supposed to have a sequential shifter, so I don't know where I would put that. I would probably have one coming out of this kind of dash branch thing. Music miners. I should know that, but I don't know, given I made my eyes like actual music notes. Yeah. 7 mine? I don't. I really should know this stuff, honestly. But I don't seem to know as much as I'd like to know. I'm also bad with words. That's the story for another day. Ooh, you know what? Let's just have a snow switch. It says air conditioner, but I think it would be funny if we just had a snow switch with no context whatsoever on this interior. So that's in 3D. This switch will probably make it snow. So, not ideal for everywhere in the world. But hey, it does mean you get to take the day off school, so that's always a positive. So that can go, I think, on the end here. I feel like the weirdest part is I feel like this, compared to some of the modern car design, isn't actually that unusual. It looks like a massive switch. I think it's just because the car is tiny. So, I think it was actually, I'm getting sidetracked here, but I think Morris and, what was it called? BMC, is it? Like, merged in the 1960s. But I think before then there was, or maybe at that point, there was like a Morris and an Austin. No, I think Morris and Austin merged to make BMC, I think, if I'm not wrong. And I think at that time, or maybe just before it, there was a Morris and a Austin Mini. Yeah. I mean, I know like some music theory, I just don't know a whole lot of it. It's like, I didn't do very well at piano, but I've tried. It's just, yeah, I think it was British Motor Company. It was, and then that, I think, was what became British Leyland. At least from what I've read on it. I think that was what became British Leyland in the 1970s. So, yeah, I guess you could say beginning of the end. I think Leyland had all kinds of issues with how they did things. And it didn't always work out. At the same time, though, I think a lot of cars in the 70s were just poorly built, so it wasn't just the Leyland stuff. I do want to find a mirror, like a rear view mirror. There's an infotainment, but I've already gone with a modern one. There is, I would say it has got a speedometer, but I was going to say, what if I just put a massive screen there for that as well? You know what? You know what we need, I think? Because mirrors are not trendy anymore. I think we just need another screen for reversing. Because, you know, whoever complained about modern cars having too many screens? I'm sure that's not a complaint that actually exists. It's just upside down now. So this can go, hopefully, a little smaller. This is what's going to be our rear view mirror. Because screens are cool. I mean, my car even has two of them, but like one of them's a aftermarket dash cam navigation combo. The fact that some cars have a crazy number of screens now. I don't know what to make of it. I probably won't own one of those cars though, so I guess I'm not their audience. Target market. Oh yeah, so Leyland, Tesla. No, I'm pretty sure Tesla will have more screens than this. But it's like, you know what, Tesla in 2030, they will move a steering wheel. Like, it's not a self-driving car. You still have to operate the pedals yourself, but they just remove a steering wheel. So you can't steer yourself. And then what, they like buy out the American government or something to make it legal to not need a steering wheel. I think that's what happens a lot of the time. Like, the companies just give the government loads of money and then they get what they want. So it wouldn't be beyond like, what do you call it? It wouldn't be beyond kind of visible that would happen. There's some gaps there. I think I might just fill them in. Because it doesn't look great as it is. Yeah. But yeah, the Tesla Roadster, wasn't that just like a Lotus and they changed the what do you call it? They changed the whole powertrain, basically. But the problem with the Roadster, they took a car that was like very lightweight and they kind of made it not that lightweight. Like, it wasn't super heavy, but like, the whole thing about Lotus was that they were some of the lightest things on the road that you could buy in the modern age, at least. I mean, I say that Lotus nowadays is literally just making crossovers, so I guess I don't have that much room to speak of it. I feel like everyone's making crossovers now. And I'm one of those like old people who just won't buy a crossover. Doesn't it help that they actually made the suspension worse on the C5 Aircross? As if they're like trying to put me off buying one. If I just mirror this. No, that's flip to opposite side. That's not mirror. There we go. If I were to change this to a purple. I don't know if I like that. I think just making it the blue colour is honestly probably better for it. Yeah, Lotus. I mean, as I say, like, the thing is, it's just, it kind of made sense as an idea, but then I guess where Tesla went after it, I think, that was probably where they just became generic. I mean, from what I remember, I think it was about 2013-ish, the original Tesla Model S actually had some design to it. And then somewhere along the line, they looked at that and they were like, you know what we need? We need to get rid of the grille. It looks good, but we need to get rid of it for the sake of progress, or just some crazy thought like that. Because the original Tesla Model S, the grille actually looked decent, and then why in the world they decided it was a good idea to remove that, I just don't understand. So, can enlarge this a little. I mean, as I say, it gave me a Core 2 Duo colour. Of course I'm going crazy with the blue and chrome. So, that's just how I am. I'm going to need some door handles, I think. I mean, that actually doesn't look enough like a screen. That actually looks like a real mirror. That's not going to do. It needs to be turned off, so when the screen actually just goes, you can't actually have a blindest idea what's behind you. You know, you just have to blindly guess. Yeah, I mean, every car does seem to have to be a crossover nowadays. I think, all I can think is, like, they have a little more space in them. But that's not even a problem with my car in particular. You can fit 2 adults in the back of there. Okay, we're not allowed 2 wing mirrors, but we're allowed a wing mirror, which is actually just a screen. And we're going to have a back camera to, like, decide where that is. So the camera will be pretty easy. I'll just have to find something that kind of works. You know, if I make this tiny, this could actually look enough like a camera. I think it's on 3D. So this could look like a camera, and I think if I made the lens a little, or not lens, but if I made the cover a little, what do you call it, blacked out? That should work. Yeah, safety regulations, I know they can be crazy at times. The 70s American safety crash regulations, they were quite something. I feel like this needs louvers on the back, even though it's a tinier rear window. I don't know, I just see it working. The ring, I don't know about carbon fibre. I might just make it body coloured. Carbon fibre is crazy, but to just make this vaguely match up. Oh, you know what we can do? We can go with, like, chrome arms on there. Yes. That ties it together. No one will ever know this is not, like, an OEM feature now. I feel like it's going to catch on every low bridge show at this point. So, yeah, I mean, safety regulations are odd. I mean, I think they do require rear cameras now. That wasn't actually a thing when I bought, or not when I bought it, but when my Citroen was manufactured. But it does have a backup camera. I mean, I don't have any issues parking that though. So I think some of this technology doesn't have any real advantages to it. It's just like going full ahead on something that doesn't have massive amounts of advantages to the technology. Alright, so that's where your mirror is getting the signal from. I mean, sure, there can't be any disadvantage to having the mirror getting the feed from, like, off the side of the car. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? I probably shouldn't say that. There's a million things that can go wrong. I mean, I think the Chinese cars are pretty similar, so I don't know, maybe I'm getting sidetracked. But I think the Chinese cars are all quite similar to one another. And this is not... oh yeah, it's adding it. It seems since I restarted automation, it is behaving itself now. Can make that smaller. You know what? I could give it a mustache. I could give it like an aerodynamic mustache. Nah, I don't see that working, honestly. So if we move that around. can probably pivot that. Give it little ringlets. Maybe, okay, make that one, and that goes behind the bumper. I mean, that's something of a car. Flush doors. I don't know. Is that like where they have the handles that are like incorporated into the door? Because those, I don't see a point of those. You know, where they just have like the electric pop-out door handles. I mean, not even from a safety standpoint. There's just like so many reasons they don't work. But because this car is a very high-tech car, no, we don't even need a keyhole. Because now I get to thinking of it. Because this is a very high-tech car, you don't get door handles. This car is all about the technology, even if it's not really an advantage to it. I could have one on the back as well. Like, this is how you get into your luggage. Or, as I was thinking, your Maxwell. Because we all store Maxwells in the back of our car, I'm sure. Nothing unusual about that. Then the badge can maybe go... The badge can, I would say, go down, but... I can just barely fit it on the boot lid, honestly. If I don't raise it up above the handle. Just barely enough space for it. I think this is turning out decently well. Alright, so the door pops out. I think that's, yeah, I think that's what I'm meaning. Like the whole idea that it's not like a separate handle. Like, where is it? Yeah, so it's basically, it's not one of these, like a normal handle. It's one of those. That's what I'm thinking. Get in the car like a NASCAR drive. I mean, isn't it the NASCAR you get in the window, don't you? Because I don't think the door opens at all. Unless I'm wrong, I think you just have to actually go through the window. Maybe it's not NASCAR, but I'm sure there is some kind of motorsport where that's the way you have to get into the car. So, yeah, this I mean, I feel like this car now is just, with this conversation, this car is just escalating into being the most dangerous thing ever. And that's if it doesn't tip over when you're trying to drive it. But it's okay. It doesn't matter if it drives poorly. We have got the technology to make it forgivable. I'm not going to go super crazy on this chrome. I just want to, just want a bit of chrome on the sides. To go, feed to the door handles. Actually, what I could do, if I have, like, the indicators here, because I do feel like it's a normal thing to have side indicators on a vehicle, at least nowadays, so... You know what, this is so dumb, but I kind of like it. Like, the indicators just point backwards, so you can't even see them from most angles. Someone didn't think this out when building this, like, proof of concept or whatever it is. I think that will be mirrored. They had the most useless side indicators ever. Yeah, yeah. I mean, a lot of the regulations are kind of dangerous at times. I mean, as I say, like, my car, as long as you drive it well, it's fine. I don't know why you would need more technology than that. Now, I tried changing the, those, and it just didn't look any better. But yeah, it's like, why would you need, more technology than my car has? Because it already has quite a bit of the stuff I would ever need. The newer cars lost me when they took away the CD player. So, us old people gotta listen to our CDs. And they tried to take that ability away from us even. I think if I just get this and go for one of these more pointed ones. I don't think this looks too bad. I mean, for what it is. It is jumping a little though. Super focused on trying to get this position right. It's not easy. There we go. I think that's good enough. I mean, I don't think that side chrome looks too bad. It would actually look better with door handles. Yeah, I mean, I feel like most people do, but it's also like using the CDs. I feel also, even if you don't use the CDs, the ability to use them should always be an option, I feel. It's like my car has Bluetooth and it has a USB input which I just can't work out at all. But it does also have a CD player, so they've taken away a feature basically, and a feature that worked fine, that otherwise everyone could have made use of at some point in the car's kind of life cycle. So, I don't know, I just can't get behind them taking that away from everyone. Where's the front lip? I don't need this one anymore because I added a little ringlets to the front. That will give it some downforce. I think design-wise, the most of this is done. I'll probably do a bit of suspension tuning on it, and then I'll go and add the Maxwells and all the fun stuff. Is there space? Yes! I'm just thinking there's a lot of vertical space in this bonnet. I'm sure you know what we're going to do with that. We need to put the best power source of all known to man in there. A Maxwell. So, sway bars. I mean, that increases drivability, but I don't want this thing to roll, but it's like, what else do I do? It makes it sportier on the front, just having abnormally stiff sway bars. Does having rear sway bars help? It does help the sportiness. There we go. It's just this suspension, I feel a lot is going to be resting on this actually doing a good job of things. So we go 1200 there. I mean, it does like having the stiffness. I think I do remember that, the GM EV1. Didn't they have to... Weren't they supposed to destroy them all, but like one or two somehow survived? It was quite an interesting car. It was also the first gen Prius about that time, and... I don't know, there's Honda Insight. What was interesting, the Honda Insight kind of... The nameplate came back. But then it was nothing like the original Insight. I think the original one had a manual transmission. First Civic Hybrid also had a manual transmission. Like a proper, I think 5-speed manual transmission. It wasn't like some weird half auto dual clutch thing. It was an actual manual. Which I always found quite interesting. Because it was a full hybrid, but it had a full manual transmission. Maybe some newer cars have that, but I don't know if it... still don't think it's common at all. I believe everything as of 2026 now actually has to be a hybrid, unless they changed the laws from what they were proposing. I believe everything now has to be a hybrid or full electric. Only gives me every reason to keep on holding on to my Citroen. for as long as I possibly can. I just don't know. I don't know what I could ever replace that thing with that would actually be any better than it. Because I see all these newer cars and nothing actually makes me want to upgrade, even if I had the money to do so. There's nothing that I see that's making me really want to buy this new car, whatever it might be. The rear dampers are hard. I don't think I can do much about that. I can change the front camber if that's necessary. 22.7. 23, okay. Yeah, I mean, the Chinese cars, I feel like they look good, but I mean, it might be like the Korean cars. I'm not so sure they last as well in the long run. I guess we'll see. Like, maybe the newer ones are better than the other ones, but it's more a case of, I'll believe it when I see it. Because sometimes these things can look very good on the surface, but until you've really owned one for quite a while, can't really say if they're truly reliable and long-lasting cars. As I say, maybe time will tell. After a while, if they are truly good, well-built cars, then not the history, the overall, what do you call it, nature of how they are lasting should show through. It's odd, it likes positive camber on the front. I would not have expected that. But apparently it makes it more drivable. You can try these sway bars. I feel sure this song is louder. I say song, this instrumental. I don't know, it looks like it's leveled okay on OBS. So, save that. I mean, drivability and sportiness are low, which concerns me. I mean, the tyres are okay. They're like medium compound cross-ply, so there's worse tyres out there. They're decent, but they're not going to be the fastest things ever. I wonder how the brakes are, because this does not have like astoundingly good tyres. But yeah, it does slow decently well, just because there's no weight to it. So if I adjust this, okay. I mean, it's on 170mm brakes. Brake discs, I don't know. Okay, 38.6. I might be able to lower the front force a little. It looks that way. Like, it doesn't lower sportiness. In fact, it raises it up. So, 25, 13.6. Wait, is the Yangrang UA? BYD Yangrang UA. That is a wild name. I mean, it's like, I wonder how they came up with that name. But as I say, there's these other things, it's like, they can say it drives on water, but for how long? Can it drive on water after 20 years of abuse? Like, that's the question I'm getting at. Because if it can do that, then I'll believe it's a high quality car. Like, if it can keep after so long of use, it can still perform that party trick, then I see no reason I shouldn't believe it's a high quality car. But as things stand, I don't think they've been around enough to really prove themselves. 400 horsepower, yes, there's a lot of power in this car. As I say, I think I've got, I think the design is pretty much finished now. Maybe I could try adjusting the gearing, and then mechanically everything should be done. I say that, there's also the downforce. It does have, it can have positive downforce. But it's making a lot more on the back than it is on the front. I feel like changing the actual, front lip has affected that, but I can still get positive downforce, so I'm happy. I just have to adjust some of the minor stuff. Try 40. Okay, that should do something. Bit less downforce on the front, maybe. I don't want it to make a lot of downforce. I just want it to make enough that the thing is going to hold itself down and not lift at speed. So it's making lift there at speed, if only slightly. That's not exactly something I want. That will do. Tiny amount of front and rear downforce, but it is in the positives. So that should do quite nicely and not slow the thing down. So, drive line. Apparently this goes 212 miles per hour. This thing going 212 miles per hour, that's going to be scary. Especially if this, let's suppose this is low quality and all these screens fall off going 200 miles per hour. That is going to be a scary experience, and the mirror will probably fly off. I mean, it would be kind of funny actually if I put the quality like down to -15 on everything and still had this top speed. Like, that would just be so dangerous. 5.7. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of cars are boring, honestly. It's just... It's one of those things. I feel like here, it got to that point where no one knew what they got until it was gone, because, like, everyone had this 2-litre diesel, like, saloon or estate type vehicle. And they were extremely boring at the time. Like, I remember living through that time. Like, everyone seemed to have them, and they were just the boring choice. But then crossovers came along, and they gave us all a universal evil to fight. I guess you could say what's ironic, it did kind of, like, unify the entirety of car culture. No longer do we hate Prius owners. We side with the Prius owners in the fight against, electric crossovers. In the union of, the union of four-wheeled not crossovers, I don't know. I did build an electric crossover in this game, actually, in automation. It was extremely boring, as you can imagine. I mean, I sometimes go about things too logically. That's why the wheel is brilliant. It forces me to build things in strange ways that make no sense. Okay, so we've got trim. Oh no, car model design. Go along, and for the most part, I think we've got this done. Can maybe get rid of that for now. I mean, what's that? That sounds like it would be an armoured car. If it was struck by a missile and survived. I don't know. It's like, as I say, the normal consumer cars, I think pretty much any armoured car will be built to a high level because that's kind of a point. So that's not going to be like a regional thing necessarily. That's going to be more... That's going to be more, I guess, the target market just requires an extremely tough, resilient car. Like, as I say, if it gets to the point where after many years all these Chinese cars are still going, I'll believe they are entirely resilient, well-built vehicles. Because it's like the I mean, it's kind of an obvious one I think of, but the Volkswagens with the 1.9 TDI engine. Because it's like, I don't believe Volkswagen has actually got the best reputation for reliability, but that particular engine over a number of years proved itself to be just an extremely reliable unit that people could trust because they just don't seem to go wrong. I mean, I would have bought, if I went the Volkswagen route, I would have bought 1.9 TDI. Because they're just generally pretty good engines for what they are. But I eventually bought the Citroen and I got kind of the Peugeot Citroen equivalent of that. So we can make that smaller. There we go, Maxwell bed created. Maxwell bed almost created, but not quite done very well. So I think I can pivot that. Ah, this is not going where I want it to. Now it's snapping to the middle, and I don't want it to snap to the middle. Okay, if I pivot that, I can probably just use this. That should help me enough. So that goes maybe inwards a little. Pivot that round. Gotta make sure Maxwell is comfortable in whatever car we put him in. Because Maxwell is our king. Well, Maxwell is also our princess. in the case of a Maxwell princess, princess wagon, was it? I don't know, it was Maxwell princess, princess mobile, I think it was. I can't remember exactly. Princess carriage, I think that was what I called it. Princess Maxwell carriage. If I lower this slightly, or just compress that. Something like this. There we go. Maxwell will now have a nice bed. If I can position it correctly, at least. I think that works. It's not perfectly aligned up down at the base, but I don't think anyone's going to notice that. So that is an interior. I was going to say, actually, there's also the front. But we do have a lot of space here. This should be clear enough, what I'm going to do. So if we get the window. That is, for some reason, on 3D mode. Move that one up. And I can go, hopefully. I think I need to make another glass material. Yeah, glass, and then I can tweak it to increase the opacity. Why has it gone purple? Oh no, it's a seat. That's not actually the glass, it's the seats behind the glass. So... oh, the Maxwell bed is cutting through the front seats. That would not look necessarily all that good, so don't want that. Then we can lower that. Okay. This window is here for a reason. For a Maxwell reason. Because Maxwell, everything Maxwell. Now if I go Control Z on that. I can push that back a little there. I do feel like this. If I move that round here and then just like resize it from this, I think it'll work better. So I can go, hopefully extend that. Can lower that. think this is a decent enough extra Maxwell bed, should I say, in the back. If I make this smaller as well. There we go, that fits pretty nicely. Somehow I feel automation wasn't designed for this. Just a hunch. I could be wrong. Every good game needs Maxwells. So that can go down. I want to actually cover the chassis rails, or at least, like, that seems like something that would not be a bad idea. Then this can go perhaps pivot, so, and that's not the correct way to do it. Nope, finally I got there. Can try moving that forward a little. So how does that fit? It almost fits, I just have to shorten it. There we go. Now we have 2 Maxwell beds in a tiny vehicle. I think that's good going. Like, two different Maxwells can now sit comfortably in my car. And then, I don't know about the front. I probably won't put a Maxwell bed there. I'll probably just hide a Maxwell in the front. Because I think that can work quite well. Actually, you know what? This guy can go next to the driver. Sure. I'm going to have Maxwells elsewhere, so not like I'm cutting corners with the Maxwells. I just oddly feel this would look good on the bench. Unfortunately, there's texture issues with the, like, little plushy thing, but I would have liked to use that. There we go. I mean, when all the screens fail on this somehow, then it's not going to be pretty. I feel like I need something else. I can actually have a little, Actually, yeah, with a text tool, I have had an idea. Which I think is pretty funny. So I feel like I need, like, little disclaimer text. This should do. It's going to say download the app. You just have, like, download the app on the door. Because you can't do anything without you can't do anything without a phone app on this car. The phone app is actually arguably more important than the car at getting things done. There isn't actually a key. It's an encrypted Bitcoin. No, I don't know. Probably not a Bitcoin, but it's like an encrypted piece of code on your phone app. That doesn't actually line up. Does that... That almost lines up well enough. I mean, not perfect. It is a bit skewered on either side. But I think download the app there works well enough. Just, we've got to remind people that this car is completely useless without an application to do everything. So, get the Maxwell, as I did say. Put another roof on top of the roof. That would be, a thing. Try and get the Maxwell fairly straight up. Oh yeah, a national car brand. Wait. GSM. Is that GM? No, it's a typo, but subscription. Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know how I'd incorporate that, but I would love to put like the subscription thing on there just for a joke. Actually, you know what I can have? What I think could work is put it on the dashboard. That way, every time you start the car, it just reminds you. Or you know what? In the middle of a rear view mirror, and you can't actually use your rear view mirror until you pay the rear view mirror subscription. I think that could work, given the overall theme that this car has found itself going for. I feel like I completely messed up the proportions of this Maxwell. So, pivot this Maxwell a little. I feel like he's almost correct proportionally, but I've just done something that doesn't quite line up. That's not grabbing it underneath there. Okay, that Maxwell looks okay now. It doesn't look like super off as it did before. I feel I've made him too small, and there's only so much space I can work with it on the inside of his car. I mean, being tall, I can actually put Maxwell in quite well. Like, there's actually a good amount of space in general. Just not in every direction around Maxwell. Seems like he's also stuck in the middle, like he's snapped to the middle of the car, so I can't move him too much to the... Well, I can't move him at all to the left or right. Glass Sport Motors. Is that an actual car company? I don't know. Now I'm just thinking about Billy Joel album where he's throwing a rock through a glass house. Which I think is actually referencing a common expression. Like, don't throw rocks at glass houses and all that, but the image for it is like just him throwing a rock through a glass house. So if I make that invisible, it'll basically make cutouts of exhaust. I think if I go with a triple exhaust, I think triple exhaust would look good. I believe it's only got one exhaust, technically, but we can feed all three pipes. That should work. Ah, so wait, trying to catch up on it. The glass. Oh, GSM is Glass Sport Motors. That's starting to make sense. So I don't know. I'm confused. I'm confused by having a. I don't know if it's mistyped, but I'm confused by having a no national car brand, but having a national car brand. Wait, Gordon Murray owns it. Gordon Murray owns a brand called Flamingo. I know there's all kinds of like Gordon Murray projects and stuff. I know there was the was it Gordon Murray Rocket? I remember that in like Gran Turismo 6, I think it was. I think it was Gran Turismo 6, and that was a very interesting car. I remember because before then I hadn't seen anything quite like it. Well, I mean, it was like an older Formula 1 car, but I mean, I hadn't seen anything of it before. So, yeah, I mean, Gordon Murray does seem to make a lot of stuff that, a lot of vehicles and stuff that I never knew about. Mass produced. Okay, that makes sense. I feel like I'm probably just getting confused easily, but I don't know. I'm not the best at understanding stuff. Oh, you know what? We can have it in some very inviting text. Actually, in capital text. No, I don't feel this text is correct though. Like, I feel this needs to be a different text. So, mirror subscription required. The Flamingo is by Glass Sport Motorsport. I mean, I guess that makes sense. Quite an interesting car name. I mean, it actually seems like what automation would generate. I don't know, it may have even done it before. May have even done it before, but I feel like Flamingo exactly sounds like something automation would generate. There we go. We've got to remind the user that the mirror subscription is required. Because, I mean, there's been heated seat subscriptions, so why not a mirror subscription? It also applies to the side mirrors, so I might put the text there as well. And this car is actually illegal to drive on the road unless you pay the subscription. How it even got through, how it got through regulations when, you know, half the time people are going to be driving them without mirrors, who knows, but still. Yeah, I mean, the flamingo is it's an interesting bird. It's like, I don't know. I don't think there's actually that many pink birds. Because I know there is the flamingo, which is like a pink bird. There's probably one or two others, but it's not that common. There is subscription required. I think that works. And I've also kind of... I meant to copy it, but not remove it. This actually has surprising canon as well in BeamNG. That's why the mirrors aren't working, because someone hasn't paid their mirror subscription. I don't think I can have the spacing. No, I can't. I can't have like unless I make another text, I can't have them layered on top of each other. Mirror subscription required. I feel like this should be in bright capital letters. I also need more music. Can just go and get the Gran Turismo music in a moment. So... it should be one of these. There we go. Might have to re-level it in OBS, but it is functioning. I don't know, like... I think this is a little quieter, so I can raise it up a little. Not by much. Do-do-do. Ah, so the, it's the car gourd. I don't know. So both are South African, but one's more famous. I do remember there was the Datsun 160Z as well. So I remembered a thing. I don't know, it's just, I get that. Yeah, I don't know anything about this for South African car industry, to be honest. I feel there's so much going on there, but I know so little. So mirror, and then I can have subscription. Right into that. Control C. There we go. That actually fits pretty well. Yeah. Yeah, there's the... I mean, as I say, I'm getting confused. I'm not gonna lie though, a car called Gordon would be a pretty interesting name. It's, yeah, I mean, it would be nice to know more of this stuff. But I don't remember it all that well. So, mirror subscription required. Anyway, I've got this together. I mean, yeah, now all I can think of is the car called... I'm just calling this car Gordon. We need more cars called Gordon, so I'm just calling it Gordon in this case. Like, I can't come up with a better name. It's at least interesting. Gordon wants you to pay your subscription. That's all he asks. Yeah, Puma. There's, wait, is Puma a car company? Because there is the Ford Puma as well. And then the crossover that murdered the Puma and stole its identity. It would be an interesting car company name, given that Ford is also using it. Maxwell is pretty tightly in that rear bed, but he fits. I'm quite happy with this car. I do need to move on because I realistically want to do 3 of them today. Or at least finish 3 of them, and I can't just spend ages doing all this stuff with one. I've just realised that if I want the steering wheel to work, I won't bother with the steering wheel on this one because it's all one piece with a dashboard, so... If I can pivot Maxwell a little more, there we go. Lower that a little. There we go. We now have an engine bay Maxwell. The source of power for this car. Yeah, different. Yeah, there's also the shoe brand as well. I think I had Puma shoes once, and then got eaten by a dog. Passed my driving test with them. They were pretty good shoes. It made me sad. So okay, this car is now 999 kilos. That is a strange coincidence, but I can say it's under a ton at least still. I think this car should be ready to drive though. So I can export it. I can export the real Gordon. Unfortunately, the mirror subscription hasn't been paid. So I can't really do anything about the mirror subscription. That would cost money. And I'm cheap. I feel like there's got to be some other... I feel like there's got to be an obscure, like, motor scooter called the Puma as well or something at this rate. Like, just Puma everything. Then there's probably some, gaming computer as well. Well, I can imagine that name being used, like, everywhere now. For some reason. Okay, so the Wheel Gordon, I think, has come out pretty good. There's a couple of others I want to do. There's the Fabulous Roadster. Probably do that last. That's a good vehicle. Ah, there we go. I did start this one on stream, but I never finished it. So, I can do that now. Because most of the base design here is actually done. I think basically a whole lot of the base design is done. Is it all-wheel drive? It says 4x4 on the back. Did I just lie about that? Is it front-wheel drive? I mean, it's naturally aspirated. Ah, viscous all-wheel drive, so it is all-wheel drive. It's, yes. It's got a proper all-wheel drive system, although admittedly not a, how would you say it's super high-end one. I wonder, actually, I'm just thinking here. So it's on the basic chassis at the moment. It's got a 4-gear automatic, which honestly is not as bad as I expected it to be. I expected much worse, but then I guess I've built some cars with like 2-speed and 3-speed transmissions, so, you know, it's bound to have a few issues. So if I make the tray transparent, I can give it a glass tray. That actually looks kind of nice that you can see all the powertrain and stuff. I think there is somewhere like you can make it completely transparent. There we go. Now I have plans on why I'm doing this and stuff. It's got a V16, I think, transversely. Very interesting vehicle. Now, because of that, like, covered wheel arch thing, I should be able to put all kinds of gear back here, and you're not going to see if it overlaps with the rear wheels. So, as much as that wasn't my original intent, it is an advantage. So that's underbody, which I think is literally just those pieces of plastic around the wheels. And I think that'll give me more space, but I'm not so sure I want to do it. For now, I'll leave them as they are and see how it turns out around that. I feel like it needs extra lights on the back, but it probably doesn't. It's not got a whole lot of a grille, given that there is a lot of engine in the front, but I think it's got enough grille to cool it, honestly. Could be wrong on that. Wait, the Basil Green motor. These names are quite interesting, I guess. But I don't know, I think Ford is literally a, what's it called? It's literally just a, amount of water, which you have to sometimes drive through, so... You know, car brands aren't always that interesting in names. Wait, African version of Cobra. So, yeah, I'm interested in all these, names. Like, where did they come from? What is it? Yeah, the BYD, Yanguang U8. That has to be, like, the best name. It's just, it doesn't make any sense, and that's why I like it. Okay, so there's various floors and stuff. I think I do want to use these. Honestly, I so rarely actually use these for what they were intended for. I mostly just turn them into Maxwell beds. It actually does, with some of the pickup truck bodies though, these actually work incredibly well. So if I move that... I can make that taller, I think. Like, there is a lot of space in the back, as I say. So just move that up. Yeah. Joku van der Meer of James Prinsloo. I mean, what's it? Mer almost sounds like meme. Because the first time I saw that, I was like, that's meme, but it isn't. I mean, if someone actually had meme in their name, that would be quite something. I think I had different colours here. I'll have to see which ones I've got. Ah, so this was it, like salmon colour, for lack of a better word or better term. This was the other one. Now, I should be able to change this, I think. And yeah, I can go with cloth or leather. I imagine cloth is more comfortable for cats. That doesn't actually look too bad. Looks kind of like a washed out red. I think that looks pretty good. Like, of all the things that could have happened with it. I'm not sure I've ever used these benches in the correct way. So we can rotate that. I mean, I'll probably manage to make myself do the whiting on the other channel tomorrow instead of procrastinating like I have today. And that's when I press the arrow keys. So if I go Control Z. Carl Vosloo. Yeah, I mean, they are interesting names. I mean, I don't have that interesting a name. I don't know, but the most interesting name I have on my characters is probably like Aurella, which I honestly just threw letters and words. I threw like letters and words at each other until I got something that sounded kind of interesting. I think I worked it. I think I like managed to achieve a kind of interesting sounding name, but yeah. That's like the most interesting name I've come up with so far. I think if I mirror this. Yeah, so those black pieces are like showing through the bed slightly. I don't think it's that much of an issue. That's why I was trying to work it out. So if I mirror that. Ah, so that works. It just didn't work the other way. There we go. No, that's weird. Like, it's just not working as I was hoping. Okay, so I think I know what to do, though. Instead of mirroring it, I can literally just do this. Yeah, I can get the white thing, and then it'll, like, snap to the middle. There is a Maxwell bed. Yeah. I mean, my name is, my name IRL is just not interesting at all. But I don't know. I mean, I have Sakura, which is like literally cherry blossom as well. That's I guess not that interesting. I kind of stole that name, but I claimed it, therefore it is mine. I actually do get to use an automatic shifter in this car. Like, usually I don't get the chance to do it because the wheel doesn't typically build ones with lazy automatics. But in this case, it did. I mean, when I've done all these cars, when I've actually like given them all designs, I will try and get a BeamMP server together because I just want to make sure I've got enough cars there to like randomize to, so it's actually fun. So that can be made the same salmon colour and it should tie it together. There we go. Like, no one would really know unless you look closely that that is a bit out of place. Oh dear, what have I done? I have messed this up because I don't know. Oh, that's still there. I just didn't change the colour. I thought I'd messed up real bad. Anyway, my point is here. I just like so badly messed up because it's going through the back of the truck. I'm gonna have to redo a little work here. Hopefully this is the newer, better version of the Maxwell Mobile, where, you know, I can have a bit of fun with it. I think it's also one of those things, I guess. Like, if you say, what's it, white South African names, it sounds like anime characters. I mean, there is, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, Simish. I feel like if you sing in some foreign languages, it ends up just sounding like Simish. Because, I guess because, like, if you're not adapted to hearing those languages, it just ends up sounding the same as that. I did find it interesting to read, and it's like, because someone did, I think commented it somewhere, and it's like, actually, yeah, I do notice that. It does sound like Simish. I think this truck is decent looking, but I don't know if I like the pink in contrast to the yellow, but it could look a lot worse. I say pink, it did look red at first. That does actually look pink to me now I look back on it. Maybe the cloth overall coloration does it as well. I could also try making this yellow-green colour, like, super shiny. So if I go edit paint, yes, extra flake. Oh, that looks nice. To me, at least. Makes it look almost gold. Maybe that's too much flake, I don't know. I want quite a bit of flake, but I think there is too much here. So if I go with like 89% flake, I think that looks good. Pretty shiny, pretty flaky, but not like super flaky. Spanish, but with a Texas accent. Sounds interesting. I mean, I don't know. I think accents can change, which is interesting. I don't know exactly what my accent is. It's probably English, but I feel like I don't have an accent close to any of my brothers, so. Soda brand. I don't know, it looks like it could be like off-brand Coca-Cola. I could see that being a thing. Oh, Mountain Dew, yeah. And I'll have to look it up because I do think I saw like a Mountain Dew that was that kind of colour. It is kind of Mountain Dew colour. I mean, it could be my monitor settings again because they're on iSaver, but it doesn't look quite as green to me. But I'm also clicking on the wrong tab. There we go. So the V16, the transverse. Wait, how many valves has this got? I have to check again. It looks almost like a 4-valve engine. Nope, it's got 5 valves per cylinder on a transverse V16. Wait, I don't know. I mean, I could see there being Spanish speakers in Texas. Like, I don't know. Isn't like Mexico on the border of America, and I think they use Spanish. So, you know, it's not inconceivable at all that it would happen. So, you know, just not as far-fetched as it would seem, perhaps. So we've got the differentials. This is on cross-ply tyres, so they are not that wide. Also, I think there's limitations with this car's body, or truck's body. I think the brakes are the key thing here, so if we go 31.7, I wonder if going with slightly smaller wheels helps. Not on the rear, it doesn't. Okay, so just try and line these up, I think. Get the most tyre I can. Yeah, I think I already did that before. Like, 245 I think is enough. It's got all-wheel drive. Wait, was Texas a part of Mexico? I mean, I don't know. I feel like I missed some really obvious historic stuff. But I do know Texas... No, I do know, sorry, Mexico is on the border. Oh, we've got 6.9 miles per gallon. That is very nice fuel economy. It's not efficient, but it's a very nice amount of fuel economy. That power curve, like that really does stop at the top. I think I kind of did that on purpose because it stops it. It like holds the power a little better than it would otherwise have. How much torque does this have, I wonder? Does it say? I imagine it makes a fair amount of torque, even being 3 litres. Revs to 9400 apparently. Proper supercar RPM. 80 valves. And it only weighs 1460-ish kilos. San Antonio? I guess so. I think there is like Mexican places with salmon. I think there's like more of them. I know there's San Sebastian, and that's I totally don't just know that because there's a Sonata Arctica song by the same name. That's totally not the reason I know that place exists. Because race car. Oh, there's all kinds of race car stuff. What interior does this actually have canonically, I'm wondering, because like the wheel does randomly select interiors, so I am curious about that much. Oh, we've got a premium interior. Oh no, we're going to have to add more touchscreens. We're going to have to add more touchscreens to this because it's got luxury infotainment. Perhaps by the luxury level, you don't have to pay a mirror subscription. I can only hope, because it wasn't the most ideal thing to add all of those pieces of text in. I do kind of want to give it a sunroof, but I'm not sure that would ever work with this body, honestly. You know what actually I could do? Not specifically a sunroof. I think it'll be on the interiors, but not specifically a sunroof, but something that I did use on Maxwell's little camper, which does kind of affect the roof. Just have to find where it is. There is an 80s and 90s gear shifter, but I do want an auto to go with what this car is. There's various autos and stuff. This has infotainment, but it doesn't look so luxury. I'm thinking actually this is like a muscle car dash or something of that nature, but I feel like I can get this working. I actually used an American dash in Maxwell's little camper, so I mean, maybe it could work. I think there's a little too much front end there, though. Like, you wouldn't be able to get in the vehicle very easily. So there is, there's 2 seats. I don't feel like race seats will matter, but it is supposed to be a fairly premium car. There is like the Land Cruiser seats. I want something that kind of fits more retro though. I still want something kind of sporty, but I want seats that are more retro. Oh, the cassette player. Oh yeah, I've not gotten to the Fabulous Roadster yet today, but I do need to add a cassette player to that. There is actually 70s interior somewhere. It's not so much that one, but you know what, if we're going premium, I'm going to use that as an excuse to put these seats in. Basically build the most American European truck ever. I don't know. There's actually space for Maxwell in the cabin as well, I think. If I'm not wrong. So mirror those. I mean, maybe this thing is quite large width-wise. I think it's pretty small in terms of size. I think it is a smaller, like, pickup truck. I could probably make these seats larger, because somehow they just seem to come out a little small. Like, if we're going with big plush seats, there's no reason you can't make them a little larger in comparison to, you know, a vehicle which easily has space for larger, more comfortable seats. And this is obviously going to be a salmon colour interior. Everyone's favourite colour. Well, as decided by the wheel it is. Therefore, it must be your favourite colour. The wheel wouldn't lie to us. So, yeah, the dashboard. I'm going to need to do something with the dash. I don't know exactly what I'm going to go with. It is supposed to be premium, though. I think this one might work. Oh, it's kind of frozen up. This, I believe, is leaf springs on the back, double wishbone on the front. Kind of makes sense for a pickup truck, at least, though. So it's not the most unusual. 4.7 seconds, 0 to 60. I can probably tighten up these gears a little because there is not actually a lot of gears to row through. So costing a little top speed but getting more acceleration, I think, would be worth it. It's only costing, what, 2-3 miles per hour, so I can take this this, what would you call it? Sacrifice? We must sacrifice the acceleration. Oh no, we must sacrifice a higher end speed to summon the acceleration. Or something like that. It does 4.8 seconds 0 to 60, which for something that looks like this, I think is pretty good. 4.8 seconds to 60 in this. I don't know about the other one I just built. The little, not hatchback, it was a saloon, technically, but still. I mean, this is technically a pickup truck as well. Even though it's clearly very van-based, it is technically a pickup truck. Pickup truck is a very flexible thing in this game, because you can, like, morph it into a sports car if you so want to. And it will still technically be a pickup truck, just one with a tray on the back. I do quite like this, though, now. The more I build it, the more I start to kind of appreciate it. It doesn't happen with all cars. Sometimes I'm just like, why am I building this? I could be creating a good car, but this one is awful. I don't feel that way with this one. And I have grown to appreciate leaf springs on the back a little more than I did before. But only on the back. I don't appreciate front leaf springs still. The wheel has given me that enough times. Okay, I need like a smaller dashboard to fit. Yeah, there's... The car industry, I don't know. So, not... Oh, no, there's not a car industry in Africa outside of South Africa. I mean, I guess that makes sense. Some countries, I think, just don't have much of a car industry. I think there used to be a massive car industry in the UK, but it kind of, not anymore. At one point, though, I think the UK car industry was absolutely huge. I mean, I don't know, there's not really anything left here other than the more luxury companies now. The more premium, should I say, because I wouldn't say Jaguar Land Rover is exactly luxury. They are more just premium, if you ask me, than just out and out luxury. So we can go lower that. I think I want this to be... I believe this is a body on frame, if I remember correctly. I could be misremembering it, though. But I do believe the wheel selected body on frame for this particular vehicle. So that's wait, so there's a few in Uganda and there's a Nigerian rebadged Chinese cars. I mean, that sounds interesting. Like, I didn't know anyone was rebadging Chinese vehicles. I do find that an intriguing concept, would I say? Just not something I would have thought happens. But I guess it makes sense. I would say I can probably extend this out. Nope. I don't think I'm doing this correctly. Like, I've put this in and it's not working out for me. At this point, I may just be better off. Well, I say that, but having an existential crisis over how to design an interior. You know what? I might just use this dashboard again. I mean, it goes with the seats, and I have used it before, but at this point, like, there's just nothing else I can find for these vans that works as well as it. Especially if I'm building a more luxurious van than it would perhaps look like it is. It's a very American dashboard, and as I say, I would never have expected myself to use this twice in this van as well. Both times I've used this dashboard have been in like these kinds of vans. Alright, so a few car vans in Africa. I don't know, but in Uganda there's only one car van, okay. I mean, my head is not catching up with this very well. So, yeah, I mean, I can see that. Like, as I say, there's I guess I think it might be a kind of supply and demand thing as well. Like, if there is a demand for cars, then I feel like someone will have to make them to fulfill that demand and make money off it, because naturally, if there's money to be made, people will find a way of doing it. If there isn't money to be made, then maybe they won't bother. So that is, this is going to be like an oddly luxurious pickup truck. But we don't talk about the leaf springs on the back, because leaf springs are not luxurious. So we don't talk about them. I'm quite liking this though. As I say, some of these wheel vehicles I just kind of end up liking. I do want to work on 3 of them today, but it's taking quite a while. I might only get 2 done. This being the second of them. Just to get them done with the Maxwells and everything, but finishing off 2 entire vehicles, I feel like that's still kind of a win. To get them completely finished and built up. This one, as I said, I did start before on stream. I don't think I'm allowed a front wing. I don't think I'm allowed any. I would have added them if, like, the wheel allowed me to add aero, and it has not. I can apparently send myself hearts on YouTube, so that's something. Like, it actually has the thing there, so I can just send myself loads of hearts. I'm not so sure what the purpose of that is, though. So, the fuel tank would probably be in the back with this. I feel like one of these... Oh, it's not grabbing it now. Sometimes it just does this. I could put a roof rack on it, actually. Now I'm thinking of it. A roof rack on this would make it, like, unnecessarily tall. But I don't hate the idea. Yeah, I mean, the Australian car. I think, was that in the 2010s? Like, they had Ford and GM making cars there. And then they basically just decided, actually, no. We're not making the Falcon and the Commodore over there anymore. We're deciding you can't make those stuff. And then they just, I think, sold, like, imported cars there. I mean, the crazy thing about the UK, there were so many companies. Like, larger and smaller companies, and they're just not there anymore. I mean... I don't know. I know the government doesn't really do anything to save the companies if they're going under. For better or worse. That's how MG Rover went down, basically. Somehow I couldn't imagine the American government letting their companies go down like that. I mean, I still find it interesting, the whole thing, though, like how Rover went down and the Chinese bought them, and they basically fixed the Rover K-Series engine. Which Rover didn't do themselves. Like, it had issues. But when the Chinese got it, they literally just fixed the engine. They didn't build a new engine or anything. They just took the K-Series and they fixed the head gaskets and stuff. So yeah, the whole thing about how they like took the K-Series and they fixed the head gaskets and added a turbo. Like, why couldn't Rover do that? Well, I mean, they added a turbo, but it still had head gasket issues. Like, it wasn't a very... I don't think it's a very well-known car, but there was a Rover 75 with a turbocharged 1.8 K-Series. I feel like that's not a well-known version of it, though, at all. This has anti-lock brakes for luxury. We actually get anti-lock brakes in our pickup truck. The wheel has far too often decided I'm not even allowed ABS. And I'm just allowed nothing. So how is it slowing? 31.7. This thing really does slow quite well for what it is. So the the Aussie car industry, wait, so there's something inactive in like the mid-80s, and that led to the demise, I'm guessing. So, sorry if I'm misreading any of this. I don't know, my head just isn't like thinking. My head is not heading as well as I would like it to. 55.5. I mean, I'm ramping the front brake force right up here to try and get this thing to slow as well as it can. It already slows, though, absurdly well for a pickup truck, I must say. I don't think it's that heavy, no, it's under 1,500 kilos. Might be fiberglass if I remember correctly. But whatever it is, it's not super heavy. Both the drivability and the sportiness are going up. Like, just the more I ramp up the brake force here on the front. And this is 6-piston carbon ceramics. The wheel here was actually pretty nice to me in terms of what brakes it gave me. The rear is also carbon ceramic. Like, what was the wheel thinking here? This is far too kind for anything built by the wheel. So, 55.6. Manual save, because I obsessively save. Okay, we've got a galvanized steel ladder frame and partial aluminium bodywork. I think it's just because it's small, though. The bodywork on this is not super lightweight, but it's not actually a particularly lightweight format. I'd say it's about average of all of the body types for weight. So, you know, it does strike me, the more I see it, it strikes me as like a luxury early 70s pickup truck. Somehow that makes sense to me. Can lower the seats a little. I'm thinking, I did say I want a sunroof, but I'll probably just go with a roof rack because I actually feel like I could get that working very well visually. This is like interior stuff, so it may be here, I do not know. We've got climate controls. I could try sticking the climate controls somewhere. I don't know. This may have had infotainment, I think. I think it might have had luxury infotainment, so I don't know. I think I might have a way of incorporating this and not making it look absolutely horrific like the last one. Like, if I just go with I think this is kind of like a Volkswagen unit. I wouldn't exactly call it luxury, but I can work on that a little later. Oh, it even has a radio, the luxury of it all. I mean, I could try and move that to the side. I think it's actually fine in the middle. Could probably enlarge this. I believe it's like a Volkswagen type system. And I've kind of lost it. Like, I tried to grab it and it didn't really grab it. So that's not perfect, but I think I can get something into here working. As I say, it's like a luxury early 70s truck that the wheel has built here, which is also on racing slicks, because it's supposed to go very quick. There is steering wheels as well. The button plan ideas to rationalise the motor vehicle industry. Many brands just rebadged it. Rebadged to... So it took a Nissan and it just rebadged it to a Ford, which... Well, that does sound crazy. I don't know, did people, like, catch on or anything? Or were people just, like, believing it's a Ford? I imagine people would catch on to that kind of thing. Because... I don't know, it's like people just seem to realise this stuff. Is it giving me the pedals? It's not grabbing anything now, which is strange. This thing doesn't even do 150 miles per hour, which I'm kind of surprised by, because I think it makes like 300 plus horsepower. It makes 340 horsepower and it doesn't even do 150 miles per hour. Holden Nova. That's interesting, because there was a Vauxhall Nova, which I believe was actually GM's own, like, kind of small super mini type vehicle. In the, I think in the 80s even, so... It seems odd to call a Toyota Corolla a Holden when, like, GM themselves had their own car that kind of fits in that same market segment. That just seems very odd. It can't have been that hard to adapt it to Australia as well, like, especially since, as I say, they were sold in the UK, same steering wheel side and everything. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I sort of could imagine that, though. Like, especially if they sold the original, I guess, under a different name. It would just make sense that you'd kind of notice something was off. So, yeah, this is a crazy engine. I feel like this should make more power, to be quite honest. I guess it hits the limits of the RPM, so that's a thing. I've maxed it out for width, which I guess isn't too surprising. It is a V16 transversely. Somehow not the worst engine fitment I've ever had. So... downforce. Okay, I am apparently making lift on the front and rear. I can make rear end downforce, but not front end. I don't think I put a wing on this. I think I'll just set it so it doesn't make lift on the rear. It's heavy on the front, so I guess that... So, oh. Look at that rear downforce. We've got the evil number. We've got 0.067 kilos of downforce on the back. So 0.067 kilos of all the numbers for it to arrive at. Oh dear. So gonna need, I think we need a floor pan here. Yeah, so this is a van and then there's a pickup truck version. I am quite pleased with it, no less. So there's pedals. If I could just find some auto pedals and make it easier on myself. With this, I don't know, I'm guessing it's this. I sorted the air out a little, and it's making 0.067 kilos of downforce. And also I quite like the design. That's basically all I said in the last minute or so. But yeah, it's just like, of all the numbers, it chose that one. A bit wild. So... what's it saying about paint? It was giving me a warning about the paint or something, I don't know. Okay, dash fillers. I found the dash fillers. Seems like something I should have used a long time ago, but hey, I found it now. Yeah, if only I'd found these dash fillers like so much earlier. It seems like something I could have used. There's like all different shapes and sizes and everything. That makes this job a lot easier. I'm sure I looked for like the dash fillers before and I couldn't find them. Okay, so I mean, I don't think the internet's bad on my end because I've got it's saying 610 dropped frames, but it said that pretty much from the start of the stream. So it's not dropped frames in quite a while. Trying to think. I don't know. I was saying about the there was a voxel nova. I said about that a while ago, and I think I said with the model sharing, I said about the. They'd probably notice if they had the same. If they had the same model under different brand names, I'd think they would they'd notice that. Because, like, you know, if it turns up in a dealership somewhere and you see it new Volkswagen, I don't know, but then it's not a Volkswagen because you just saw it advertised on television or whatever as a Holden. I think you'd like catch on to that being the case. Maybe that isn't actually a Holden. I can't seem to get these dash fillers working as I so want them to. Still a lot easier though. If I can get this actually working, it's still so much easier. So if I move that forwards. So should be able to. Hopefully that'll work. I mean, it's not perfectly aligned. It's better than nothing. I don't know what that colour is, but it kind of matches a dash, so I'll take it. Yeah. So your dad drives a Toyota Corolla, your friend drives a Holden Nova, and grandpa drives a Nissan Ute, and brother drives a Ford Falcon. I mean, wait, so was the Nissan Ute like a Ford as well? I mean, sorry if I'm just getting completely confused by this all. I don't know. I have so many so many things going on in my head with all the art and stuff as well. I don't know. So this isn't going in. Because I do like doing my arts and stuff. So I don't know what's going on with this. Because it wasn't I do want to add Maxwell's. I will add Maxwell's as well. That's something I kind of have to do. Add the Maxwell's in the back at the very least. Sadly, I don't think this makes cat noises because it's not supercharged, but I can try, and I can try and still make it fun. The maximum would be making cat noises. That was perfect. Yeah. The black dashboard known as plastic. I mean, you could say that. It's luxury plastic though. Wait, actually, it reminds me of because I'm quite old. I remember when the 5C was brand new, the iPhone 5C, and it was like some people were going like, Apple's just cheaped out, and they should have actually made this phone out of aluminium like all the other ones. But then there were some people that were like so into the whole Apple thing, and they were like, this is better plastic. It's not just plastic, it's better plastic. So somehow Apple used it so the plastic is better. So we can go add these speakers, I think. Because luxury, we've given the speakers some terrible placement behind the seats. I still remember when I built that car for rich people. No, the iPhone, it was the iPhone 5C, so it was based on the iPhone 5, but they made it out of like shiny. Oh wait, they encased it in shiny plastic. I think the internals were still like a metal shell. So yeah, the iPhone 5 it was, but the 5C. I'll tell you, it was a lot of people just didn't like that though, because the whole thing with Apple was that we're making phones out of premium materials. But then they wanted people to buy the 5S, which was launching that year, so, you know, they deliberately made the version of the 5 they were selling, the non-S5, as they're trying to make that look cheaper. Yeah. I mean, IC and 5C, sometimes the way I speak, it does sound like that, admittedly. So that's me, more than anything. There is, I'll see if I can just search for a roof rack. There's this. That was the first thing I was thinking of, like a kind of convertible roof type thing. There we go, vintage roof rack. This one actually fits pretty good without resizing it. I'm surprised by that. I'm going to have to widen it though, because that's not wide enough. Probably shorten it a little. Oh, it's on 2. It's not. This is a very bendy roof rack. Yeah. They did say that, didn't they, a while that they were making an iPhone car, but I don't think it ever happened. Didn't they call it? I think there was like this whole thing about an iCar, this whole rumour about an iCar, and it never happened. And I think there was like also a rumour about a Google car, or whatever they called it, if I'm correct. I don't remember what they called that, but it was like, I feel like it was just some hype train everyone were jumping on, but they didn't actually have anything to show for it. Yeah, Xiaomi makes a car. Yeah, there was also I do know one weird rebranding case that I can't remember too much of it, but there was the Hyundai Coupe, I think the 2nd gen in the late 2000s, and they branded that as a Samsung in certain regions. Like, that's one strange rebranding thing I know of. Because I just found that so odd. Like, Samsung surely doesn't make cars. They apparently do make cars. Actually, I can have both of these. Well, that's a way to get on the car. Just think I can get both of these on. Turn this into a proper luxury mini truck. I feel like I did this before though when I did one of these streams, and I made like an absolutely cursed thing, and then I made something brilliant. This one today was less cursed, but I did that crazy dead meme vehicle with the 6.7 and everything on the side. That was what I did last time I did one of these streams. This probably isn't going to be the stiffest with this kind of hole cut in the roof. But anyway, we don't find complaints in this. It's a perfect vehicle. What if the reviewers catch on to the fact that we admitted to an issue with the car? Okay, so... window cutouts. Is that like a Lamborghini event there? Well, it's behind my head, so it's not showing, but... it's like a Lamborghini, Aventador type thing. I'll try putting louvers in. Oh, there is louvers, yes. I wanted to add these to the other one, but I didn't. If I go... yeah, it's on 2D. Somehow I don't think this car was made to have louvers. But the luxury... the luxury requires it. This is going to have awful weird visibility if I do this. Hi. Hi, Prototype. This is... yeah, it's kind of a bathtub. I got this random wheel to basically tell me how to do all of this stuff on a bunch of these cars. Well, not those ones, but like... I had a random wheel. It selected like all of these options, and this is like the result of it. And this is a Maxwell bed, where I am going to add the Maxwell, because it told me to use a pickup truck. So like, of course, I'm going to use a... I'm going to use it to put Maxwell's very comfortable bed in here. There is also... the wheel went crazy with this engine. The wheel gave me a 5 valve per cylinder transverse V16. It really just went insane on it. So yeah, that's what it's got. I mean, it's also given me steel wheels. So I've tried to make them still look decent. But it said I have to have steel wheels, so I had steel wheels. Heavy duty steel, actually, as it turns out. And it's given me race tyres, thankfully. Some form of race tyres. I mean, it's just fun to build this stuff. It did give me carbon ceramic brakes as well. And even anti-lock brakes. It was pretty kind with this compared to how mean it could have been. It's also got hydraulic suspension. I did not remember that, but it does have it. I'll show the other one I built today, because I did, or not built, but designed, put a design on today, which I did earlier. It's a Wheel Gordon, as the name ended up being. This is, yeah, I had this like joke, so it says download the app, because it's a technologically advanced car. It doesn't have proper door handles, and it has a mirror subscription. So that's what's going on there. We also have Maxwell's. So I can close that. Where's the... yeah. I mean, technically, I think it also gave it a ladder frame. So it's not quite in the subframe, but... where is it? The drive shaft, the way this is set up, the drive shaft is technically going to be underneath a cab, because that's the type of like van-based truck it's gone with, so... Tesla. Yeah. I mean, honestly, this probably uses more. Last time I saw it, it made like 6.9 miles per gallon. It's not very efficient. But yeah, so it's a ladder frame there. So it's sending power like to the front wheels. It's underneath the cab. Like, I think that's about as good a shot as I can get of it. It's also aluminium on the bottom and cast iron on the top. So, some interesting decisions were made. And this is like the basic chassis. This isn't the default one, but the whole thing is just going like to the front wheels like that. Nothing hits the back at all. So, because it is like front-engined technically, front-wheel drive, so, you know, it's not like in front of the axle or anything there, but from technical terms, it is front-engined. So, yeah, it's a rather interesting car, I find. I mean, I might just finish up. I will drive this and the other one I've done today. I think I already drove this, but I've probably made a few small mechanical adjustments as well as all the design ones. And I've decided I'm going to put louvers on it because premium, even if it makes the window good as useless. So that's an idea that was had, even if it completely ruins rear visibility. Questionable decisions, yes. I mean, I still think one of the better jokes was the mirror subscription. It's like, you have to pay a subscription or your mirror just doesn't work. It didn't... Oh yeah, it did have a centre mirror. This one doesn't, though. I do have the different colours as well, so... I think I'll use the leather on here, but I will try and take the RGB from this. Because the wheel did decide, or not the wheel, this technically, but it was a random colour selector, so... It selected a random hex code, and I entered that to get the colour. And I have to somehow try and make these two colours work together. I usually do the interior, I think, and the exterior these days, because it's a way of making it work together. I'm not sure I like those seats in that colour, but... but as per the wheel's request, I must honour it. Ooh, there's all this stuff. Yeah. Why F1 cars don't have jet-style windows? I mean... I don't know, this probably has better visibility than an F1, even with the louvers. So... yeah. At this point, I might just call it the Mountain Dewmobile. Oh, wait, actually, no. We can't call it the Mountain Dewmobile. We can't get sued, so I have to come up with something else. Something better. I'll also call it Wheel, because that's a brand. It is a Wheels creation. I don't think they can copyright Mountain, so I'm going to call it something else. Mountain Poo. I don't know. I mean, hey, they can't copyright Mountain Poo. But I feel like Mountain Drew, that's it. This is okay, so this is now canon. This vehicle is called Drew and it lives on a mountain. It's totally not just because I wanted to put Mountain Dew but didn't want to get sued. It's just a guy called Drew that lives on a mountain. Yeah, new Drew. Tiny Mountain Dew. I quite like... yeah, wait, actually... I could call it Little Mountain Drew. He's not quite able to climb a big mountain, so he's just called Little Mountain Drew because he lives on a little mountain. It would be hard to climb a full mountain every day. But a little mountain, I think that's about manageable. Kind of want to give this bucket seats now. But there's easily enough space for these luxurious American chairs. It does need... yeah, it does have an infotainment. I did add that in. Feel like it should have electric windows. But where would I put the trigger for them? I don't know. It's definitely got an automatic. That much has been decided. I think if we go full set, it's doing that thing again, and it's like freezing up and not entering it. So I have to kind of click off the designer and then click on the designer again. How is the suspension? I could possibly stiffen it up a little. It is fairly tall. Yeah, England only has hills. We don't have mountains. Mountains are hard to climb, so we replaced them with hills. It was a good decision. Now we only have to climb smaller hills. I could just call it like Mountain Hill for a joke. Or, no, Hill Do. I don't know. I quite like Little Mountain Dew though. Or Little Mountain Drew. It's called... Although it also makes it sound like he's quite short, like it's just a guy called Drew who's short and lives on a mountain. I mean, some chaos has ensued with the wheel controlling me. It's like, maybe I should stop the wheel controlling me. No, but the wheel makes things easier because I have no creativity. So the wheel will order me around and tell me what to do, and I will accept it. Because the wheel is all-knowing. Yeah, I mean, Scotland has mountains and Wales has mountains. England does not have mountains. We got rid of them. So, mountains are not something we are currently allowed in this country. Mountains are expensive. I feel like I've ended up on an entirely different issue now. We can't afford mountains in this economy. Have you seen how much more expensive mountains have got in the last 2 years? We used to be able to afford mountains. We can't afford the mountains in this day and age. I yearn for the days when the English could afford to put down a mountain. Yeah. Drew is short and your average size, yes. I mean, I'm fairly short, so, you know. I have the perfect height, though. I am 169 centimetres. I mean, it's like the perfect meme height. I mean, gotta feel sorry for those people who are 167 centimetres, though, in this day and age. Mountain inflation. Yeah. Oh, and we don't talk about getting things to the summit. With the mountain, you have to also pay the mountain tax for walking on a mountain. And then the taxes increase more and more. Firstly, it started off with the mountain tax for having a mountain. Now, every time you walk near a mountain, you have to pay tax. I mean, if only this government wasn't like that, and they actually didn't charge tax for like literally everything they can think of. Not kidding, they made a sugar tax, but it doesn't even just apply to anything with sugar on. It's literally just the things they think they can make money off, like Coca-Cola and stuff, which I find a little crazy. Because, as I say, if they can tax it, they will tax it. Because that's just how this government is. So, the gearing. We're going to need a automatic gear lever at some point. Oh, you know what? Actually, I know the Subaru Brat had something like this. At least, it might have been an option, but I know it was like a thing that happened on some of them. I don't know the technical name, but I think it would be interesting. It also gives us a chance to sit with Maxwell in the back. Technically, the thing doesn't have rear seats, but I think I can make an allowance in this one occasion. They're actually proper seats, though. Yeah, Belgium. You see, the mountain inflation in Belgium, that's even worse than it is in the UK. That's why Belgium doesn't have mountains. The inflation on mountains, it just got totally out of control. They had to flatten them all. It's a serious matter here. So that's one way to put Maxwell in the truck. I don't think I like those seats there. But you know what? I don't want to get rid of them. So I'm going to do something else. Something even more random. There we go. This is the best seat in the house, by the way. I think I might just have it off centre. Like, that's probably going to irritate people to no end, but still. We can also put a Maxwell on top of them all. And it's like, to think there's not a sunroof, but an openable roof as well underneath all this. Like, what am I doing? Maxwell appeared, and then everything just went crazy. feel like that should at least kind of align with the, like, wooden pieces of the roof rack to make it look like it's somewhat mounted. I mean, imagine if it, like, automatically generates a, like, interior cam and it ends up putting it on the roof because of that seat. Yeah, I mean, that sure is good, because mountain inflation makes it very hard to climb a mountain. Especially when, like, it's so hard to keep them. I mean, it's like the scrappage scheme. Many mountains have been lost to the events of the mountain inflation. I kind of want to make like a Discord emote of that now. Cause I don't know. I did some curse like emotes of the eyes and mouth thing. Because you know people get that, but I made like a left and a right eye so people can literally just leave those those crazy reactions. And it's even funnier if people like use them on other Discord servers because with no context, because they'll just be like, what on earth is that? So yeah, it's probably one of my better ideas just because of that. Like, if you use it on another server, it can just confuse everybody. But then that would mean paying for Discord, and then again, in the light of all these events, it's not something I would exactly want to do. Like, I'll use it, but I'm not paying for the premium version. So, anyway, we have a Maxwell. I feel like this Maxwell isn't large enough. I want a crazy large Maxwell in here. It seems like it's the right kind of size for it. This is a nice Maxwell-sized bed. I think if it's like sticking Maxwell to the middle of the tray, so. Yeah. Mountain Inflation's a band name. Honestly, that's not bad. So, I don't know. Maxwell and the Mountain Inflators. I feel like Maxwell and the Mountain Inflators is a strangely good name. I could actually, if I could make a logo, I could put that on the side of this for a bit of a joke, like Mountain Inflation Corp or something. Did I put the badges on? I think I did, yeah. I put the badge on the front at least. Maybe not on the back, but there is a badge on this car, so... Or truck. Yeah, I'll see if I can get the text here. They're going round on their chair promoting mountain inflation. So... If I can find the text again, like... It's obvious, it's there, but I keep missing it. I think there's white, white and bows. I'll just go with white. Mountain Inflation Inc. Which is short for incorporated, but I'm not sure how much I can even fit. If I go 2D, there we go. Can just put it like as a piece of trim down here, I think. They're very subtle about it because, you know, they go in the dead of night and they go adding inflation to the mountains when no one can see them. So that's why the logo isn't larger. Mountain Inflation Inc. They do much evil. I'm actually surprised how well that fits without resizing it. Almost like it was made for the evil companies that go in inflating mountains. There is no handle on the back. I could probably do that. Because I can just, like, steal this one and move it around. So it's not even that hard to do. Probably easier if I grab it, like, that way and, yeah. There's also no chrome trim on the back, so... I don't know about that. I think it works. Or actually, no, I've had another idea. If I just copy this again... And then I can probably mirror it. Well, it is apparently mirrored. Probably expand that a little. Nah, I can't really get that working. I'll just go with a handle then. Mountain Inflation Inc. have done much evil. And they need a luxurious truck to do their evil with, of course. I feel like I've got all these distractions. It has got exhaust. I've done all these distractions and I've not actually got to adding door cards, which is surely quite an important thing. I think there's some 70s ones in here which I quite like. 70s sedan. I quite like these ones. And if this is going to be a 70s truck, it wouldn't look that far off from what I'm going for. I feel like I might have done this with like the Maxwell's little camper as well, but I feel like I'm repeating a lot of the actions from that vehicle. I don't know exactly how I'm going about this though. That doesn't actually line up very well. Best I could do actually, if I go with a dash filler, but I put it on the door, maybe I can make that work. Maybe if I move that back a little. There we go. It's actually showing through the wheel real well. Maybe if I squished this up a little. I was saying dash fill, honestly, I don't think it's that noticeable. I think I'm just fine leaving the door cards like that. Like, there is a gap there, but I don't think it's noticeable enough to cause any major disruption. Because I do want to eventually get to driving the two I've done today. I would have liked to do the Fabulous Roadster, but unfortunately that has not really been that feasible at this moment. So there is a door card. I'll try and get some kind of floor pan in here, I think. The Dodge Michigan. That's interesting because it's like, I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things like how people can glorify Japan. It seems like one of those things how Japan can glorify America. Sounds like that's what they were trying to cash in on and didn't do very well. So, there's also, what's it? I know in the late 90s, Japan was supposedly obsessed with the British. Like, for some random reason, I cannot understand why, but supposedly that was a thing. They, like, became obsessed with the English, specifically in the late 90s, and bought loads of minis or something along those lines. I think this Maxwell is a little too large to fit in the bed. So, it'll have to be made a little smaller. The world's largest Maxwell. So I think this is doing something. The thing, I know Dodge was sold in this country. It may have been one of those things where they kind of failed. I think Dodge was sold here. Might have been sold as a Chrysler here, but there were Chrysler vehicles for a while. And I don't recall Dodge being sold, but I think there was one Dodge that I can't remember exactly what it was. It was like some crossover type thing in the late 2000s. I recall they sold that here, but they may have rebranded it as a Chrysler because they do that stuff. Yeah. For Rover Beijing. I'm probably mispronouncing that bad. I'm just thinking, how did I don't know how to go about pronouncing that. So, for Rover Schuen? I don't know. I mean, as I say, I'm not good at pronouncing this stuff at all. So, yeah, there was interesting things going on. I mean, the Mini is particularly interesting. And what I still find interesting is, no one actually respects the Rover 25 as being the successor to the Mini. Although you look at the kind of like market it was sold in and everything, the Rover 25 is the closest to a Mini successor we ever got. Like, there was more so, I would argue, than the BMW Mini. I would actually argue, crazy as it sounds, the Rover 25 was more of a successor to the original Mini than that was, because the Rover 25, it was pretty advanced for the time because it had double wishbones front and rear. And that kind of stuff. Mainly because of Honda, I will admit, but you look at the BMW Mini and it was just very typical, like, didn't do anything that was like particularly special. I guess you could, if you wanted to go like super far, you could say that the MG ZR, was it? No, not ZR. I think, not ZT. I think it was ZS. The MG ZS with a V6 that was also pretty good. You could say that was like a successor to a Mini, but I think that's a little more high end. But yeah, that's like my kind of car, because it was crazy. They put a V6 in what's basically an extended Honda Civic. It's like, it shouldn't have existed, but it did. And it sure is a good thing that it did. And it's understandable, like, if most people don't understand that car even exists, because it was a very UK thing. So it didn't really find its way out as far as I can tell. I mean, but also the 2000s MG names are pretty confusing. Because they used versions of Rovers, but they gave them totally different names. And then there was like the MG ZT V8, which was like, it was a Rover 75 V8, but it had different trim, and it had different trim, and it had also, wait, Sequan, I think. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. didn't butcher it again. Yeah, so but it's funny actually that it is a Rover, but I can't even pronounce it. But yeah, I think Rover did that. MG Rover, as I say, the MG Rovers, the Rover MGs rather, they did have some strange model names. I also found out recently, a fact that I am not happy with at all. They sold a BMW called the XM. The XM is supposed to be a majestic classic Citroen from the 90s. It's not supposed to be a BMW SUV. Like, why do we have to turn every single thing into an SUV nowadays? Half of them aren't even SUVs though, they're just like raised up hatchbacks. I just can't say I understand it. I guess maybe I'm too painfully logical about everything, but Like, even just looking at the logics of it, I can't see any particular place they do anything better. Even off-road. Like, my car has, liftable suspension, so... liftable hydraulic suspension, so... if you want to make a car better off-road, you put something like that on it, not just, make it look like a Range Rover. Okay, so, I mean, I'm getting somewhere with this at least. There is also a massive gap on the front where it's just like the space. It doesn't really do anything. I mean, this isn't going to be the prettiest, but I do at this point just want to kind of get the interior together and stuff and make it work. Yeah. The Land Rover, even Land Rover though, I would argue don't make everything SUVs now. Like, if you look at the Land Rover Defender and some of the, what was it, I'm trying to think, Discovery 2, for example, and the older Range Rovers, they were all, like, somewhat body on frame, just, like, proper off-roaders, and then now they have moved to making, much more, how would I say it, much more passenger-friendly vehicles, which are less so much focused on the off-road aspect. So I think even Land Rover has, like, gone down that path to an extent. They're not as bad as, say... they're not as bad as others, but... even Land Rover isn't fully making the off-road as they used to. I say that as if it's actually Land Rover, not owned by some, massive conglomerate. Because, I love companies, like, own each other, it seems. Okay, so if I go... there we go. Hopefully this works. No, it doesn't work so well. Yeah, I think it was Ineos. Something like that. I say I'm not good at pronouncing it. That's not the easiest brand to pronounce. But yeah. No, Ineos, that was it. I think that's how you pronounce it. Ineos. Grenadier, was it? And I think they also had a pickup truck version. That was actually made because I think of what Land Rover's doing. Like, someone just didn't like it, so we're like, I'm going to make my own version. I think Land Rover did try and sue them for it, or something like that. I'm not sure how successful they were. But I believe they were trying. But then you get to the point of, like, are they going to actually sue literally anyone who makes a car which is designed on a body-on-frame layout? Because they're all pretty similar. I should have this thing drivable fairly soon. Which I look forward to. So we can mirror that. It looks like a bit of a mess from certain angles, and it is, but for the most part, I think it can fit together okay. I think if I go with some of the door cards and stuff, okay, I can make this work. Can go with this, like, I call it salmon colour. Try and use the carpet, not the leather. So go with, yeah, CEO of a chemical company. Yeah, the craziest thing is, though, not the CEO of a chemical company was making the off-roader, but that he actually made something that people wanted. You know, it's like, it wasn't just some crazy supercar that no one was going to buy. I think people actually saw it and they actually wanted to buy it. That's perhaps the craziest thing of all. I guess there is a gap in the market, and where there's a gap in the market, you can make a product to fill it. And it's not just in cars, it's like in a lot of stuff. If there's a gap in the market that no one's really taken advantage of, then there is a good chance to sell something there. And I think it was more just a case of like seeing that it existed and could be used to the advantage of the company or a group of people or whatever. I think if I make this black, that's not perfect, but I've also grabbed it wrong. I mean, it's got an infotainment. I think this car's come out decently well. I'm going to have to add a bit more stuff to just tie it all together, I think. Because the engine is literally visible at the moment in the cabin, and that's not ideal. It needs like some kind of coverance. Make that smaller. Can lower that. Okay, so there is a interior. A very salmon coloured interior, but it is an interior. So, as I say, it's very salmon coloured. I want to try and get the steering wheel working if I can on this, because it seems like it should be easy enough. I mean, it's not exactly got a premium audio system, but I have put speakers down here, which I'm going to call good enough. Unless... do I want a Maxwell bed here? Maybe I do. We can have a Maxwell bed, so... that's a chance I want to... employ, would I say? I feel like this car has taken far longer, or this truck has taken far longer than I ever expected it to. Although, having said that, I can't complain too much as it's come out pretty nicely. If I go to 2D, I want it to like lock to the middle. If I go to 0, at this point I think I can make it work. Yeah. I mean, it is a salmon colour car. Actually, no, it makes kind of sense because it's a Maxwell vehicle, so... oh, technically it's called Little Mountain Drew. But it is a Maxwell vehicle, so it makes sense that it's salmon coloured because, you know, cats and all that. Oh, actually, if I was thinking this is a one-way round, but it might actually work. And I can kind of, like, tie together the back of a door card here into the overall design. Okay, so... I mean, I can try and do that. So if I go mirror that... I mean, the salmon colour, I feel like I've maybe overused it a little. It does look a little different on the leather and the carpet though, which at least gives some variety. And then I could probably do that. I think if I rotate this, not that way, or that way, I'll rotate it that way. It always seems to be the last one I choose. There we go. I think I've shuffled that round a little and it now works. I mean, I think this is working okay. It's like it falls into place. Because we do need a cat bed. All the cat beds. I don't choose favourite cats. It's just Maxwell is the best cat. I might actually just use the mirror on this and just try and line this up. Using a lot of my mind power to do it. Oh dear. So that one is not quite lined up, is it, with the back of a vehicle? If I go and hopefully do this. Oh dear, I hit the louvers. I did not mean to hit the louvers. I did not hit them. Oh, hi, Mark. There we go. Now, where do the speakers go? Actually, I know what. It's luxury, so Maxwell gets his own speakers. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. These louvers are the dumbest thing ever, but I don't hate them. Now we're going to have a little Maxwell. I feel like the Maxwell is a little tall compared to the other dimensions. Now it's a squashed Maxwell. Yeah, I think I did make the Maxwell's height a little too much. Looks a little better now. Yeah, I'm not dropping frames. I mean, YouTube's complaining about my bitrate being low, but it's not dropping frames, so that's something. Maxwell looks a little squashed in here. Part of it's because he's tall as well, though. So Maxwell kind of would look squashed. Yeah, this Maxwell's just a little off proportionally. There we go. Maxwell and his salmon. I can't see a whole lot because of everything else. I haven't got the steering wheel on either. Oh dear. So if I go and I move this, can have another Maxwell that way. I'm assuming this this is probably not a UK market or an Australian or Japanese market because of the side of a steering wheel, which doesn't actually exist, but anyway. I think that's all the Maxwells I'll need. I have actually got some above the engine, technically, because the engine is below the seats, so that's the way of doing things. Somehow I remember the Maxwell in my winter car being a little larger than this. Either that or these seats are huge. Either one is probably possible. To pet a salmon. That sounds like an interesting proposition. I don't know, it depends. If it's a salmon cushion, I think you can get like fish pillows. Fish-shaped pillows. I think I might have one somewhere. They're pretty nice. Okay, so the interior. The steering wheels are there. I do need a automatic shifter as well. Imagine if I just gave this a super modern steering wheel or something. Oh, the design is frozen up. Honestly, it's doing pretty well, though, should I say. So, car trim. How does the thing corner? Does it have any issues? It has issues with it braking too well. Yeah. The, I think you can get one as a pet. I mean, I don't know, pets are hard to look after. I wouldn't want to get one and then like leave it and it just ends up like floating to the top. So 55. Okay. Yeah, pigeon sounds like an interesting pet, but I guess it's like no different from keeping chickens. Well, it is different. I mean, it can't be that different from like keeping a chicken as a pet, surely. Because you know, they're both birds. I did once encounter pigeons fighting over a chicken nugget, which was quite something. And then they had to fly away because there was a bus right behind them. Ah, those were the days. Even flashbacks like 15 years ago. Just to remind me I'm old. Okay, so the pedals. I know this is technically an auto, but I don't know. Maybe I should just stick a set of like manual pedals in. I think what I can do. Okay, I can do this. Here's another thing Tesla would do in 2030. Tesla in 2030, they would just add one pedal. Because of regenerative braking, you don't even need a third pedal. So they just give you an acceleration pedal. If you need to actually brake, then that's your fault for not for not buying the subscription to Autopilot Plus or whatever. So that can go there. I mean, I think that's okay. It's a bit off-centre, but vans often don't have perfect driving positions. Yeah. That actually does... I think I do remember something like that. Like, if you had a pigeon, you were quite well off. Because keeping a pigeon is a status. Well, I mean, you know, it costs money to look after a pet, so... I don't know. There's probably something that, like, if you had loads of pets, you were well off, but... I don't know. It seems like a very complicated way of showing off about how rich you are. Especially when you can buy that vehicle I built, like in that other stream where the, you know, it's like only rich people buy this car, and it was just like plastic on the interior. That's how you can show off about being rich. That's the easy way. Okay, so I think you can get like 70s-ish wheels in this pack. I mean, there might only be one of them, but... I grabbed the wrong thing. I grabbed the text, not the, not this. I might put 80 valve if I can. I don't know. But I like it being a bit more subtle. I don't like boasting about it having a V16, sorry. That's when... You know it's got the V16, that's when it overtakes you, and you just can't keep up with it. Until you get to the, like, 150-ish miles per hour top speed. At that point, you can quite easily overtake this. So if I put that there... Move it out a little, I think, and it will fit within the bodywork. So, ooh, we can get a cat ears steering wheel cover. I will certainly be doing that. Totally not just because I'm cheap and it's a free upgrade. So there's a steering wheel and the cat ears. I do think I need to resize this a little to fit, but it should be easy enough. Okay, so there it is. I think this is pretty much done. A king named Akbar in the Mughal Empire who kept over 20,000 pigeons. Okay, that's a lot of pigeons. I feel like at that point, I mean, maybe that's a few too many pigeons. Just an idea. I mean, please don't execute me for treason or anything, but I just feel like you may have enough pigeons. Just a hunch. I think, imagine if I finished this playlist. It's like a 3-hour playlist though, and I already had 1 hour Forza playlist on. Of like Forza music before it. I'm pretty happy with this anyway. Redline is apparently 10,000 RPMs. Like, that's crazy, and if this had a better spec, it could have revved even higher, but the wheel chose what parts the wheel chose. I think there is one more thing I can add. I don't know, what did I click on there? 340 horsepower. I mean, this thing is just wild. It doesn't make the most insane horsepower, but the way it's got that from like a 3-litre V16, and it's transverse. This is just a bit of an insane car. Oh, the shifter. Thankfully, I'm not too late. Yeah. I mean, it probably couldn't kill me now, but like in the day, I feel like that would be a fear, because some of them did, like, it just basically throw a tantrum with but with all this power. So, you know, you can't really fight it. I feel like humans just can go crazy when you give them too much power. Like, it happens a lot of times. Some people can handle it, but a lot of them can't. Okay, that's not the best automatic shifter, but it has now got a shifter between the seats. Yeah, keeping more than 3 or 4 pets. I mean, that's starting to get a lot of pets at that point. There's also you could say the old case of if you have so many pets, like how can you love them all equally when you've got that many of them? I kind of like him just like looking out the windscreen at you judgmentally. And I teleported him into a completely different realm. Hopefully I can speak someday. I don't know, I think it's because I've done a lot of car designing and it's made me tired. There we go. It's kind of blocking the view, but it's okay. Yeah. The feudal era? I think I pronounced that correctly. So, yeah, probably better living there. I mean, as I say, what was it, 1700s? Was that when there was Henry VIII? And he, like, killed so many of his own wives, which, I mean, sure, that's a sign you're a good, trustable person. when you have loads of wives and you're killing them all. So, yeah, the mirror. I need to find the mirrors that I can use for this. What I could do... I know it was on, like, one... it was on, like, the Plymouth Fury and I think other Dodgers of the era. It just had, like, the mirror on the dash, and I think on this vehicle it wouldn't actually be the most out-of-place thing ever. And I can also put it in front of this boy kisser cat, so... I think if I just hide that there, I think that'll do quite well. Yeah, if I move that there and I like remove the mirroring feature on the mirror. Now, I believe this is finally done. I think I've added everything I can. The mirror is going to be pretty useless because of the louvers, but anyway. I think it is going to be quite fast as well. I did say about getting the steering wheel working though. But then there is a cat ears as well. I could try like literally just moving them both. Did I add that to this? No, I can steal it from the other car though, like I did enter it in. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure, wasn't it some status thing though? If you had more weight to you, you were considered well looked after or something. Which is crazy because it's like the opposite of today. But I'm sure it was something where it was like actually a sign of status. I mean, it might not have been everywhere, but I think in the UK it was. So, Yeah, here it is. I put prop 25 on that, which is correct for this one. I do also want to check the blue vehicle. Oh, whatever its name was, I'm forgetting. Gordon. There we go. I forgot Gordon's name. I think was Gordon in Thomas the Tank Engine blue? No, I think that was green. It would have been funny though, if it was like the same colour. Okay, so I need to remove that because it's just gonna, it's not attached to the steering wheel, so it's just gonna move some random prop if I don't. And I'm not really into that game right now. Just telling me to download the app when I re-export this car. When I say re-export, to be fair, I will be using it, I don't know. Yeah, blue and pink were opposite. I mean, I don't know, I like pink stuff, so... I know, it's just one of those things they say, like, men aren't supposed to like pink, it's not manly. But I like pink stuff. It's cutesy. I don't know, it's like all my art ends up looking cutesy as well. It's just like how it ended up. It's like men are supposed to like manly, powerful things. But I just want to make all cutesy art and stuff. Is that too much to ask? I mean, admittedly, I'm not very manly as far as men go, but no less. I can copy this now. So we go Control V, and then I'll go, because I want to move both items, so I'll just find what trim pieces these are, and I will finish off by doing this. I think I've ended up with a surprisingly complete vehicle here, just adding bits here and there. So somewhere near the base there will be. So we've got 63 and 64 trim. I had I had my art PC on 64 gigabytes of RAM at one point. Now I've got 128, and the whole world probably wants to rob me after the RAM price hikes happened. Like, RAM used to be cheap. It's crazy to think now, but RAM was like, it got to a point where it was a cheap way to upgrade your system. Now I feel like putting RAM in a system is like the expensive way to upgrade it. Like, if you put RAM in a system, you have a lot of money. I say that as I've got like 8 gigabytes of RAM on my desk. That's how it went though, it was cheap. I've got 8 gigabytes of DDR4 I'm not even using because the RAM was extremely cheap and you could pick it up for nothing. I wouldn't use it in this machine though because there's all problems with speed matching and stuff. And I have 48 gigs as it is, which is pretty good. Okay, so should be able to go to BeamNG. And after however long it's been, like 3 hours 20, I don't think that's actually that bad. 3 hours 20 to finish it. Yeah, how isn't the raccoon that manly? I don't know, is that like some Chinese animal thing and the raccoon isn't considered manly? I don't know, I'm just not manly that much. It's like the ahoge I gave my character. It's like the least manly ahoge you can do. But it's original. I have few original thoughts. I do need to actually move the avatar because otherwise it blocks the speedometer. And that's not the way to play BeamNG. My wheel doesn't appear to be attached. Now it is. And it's making noise. So where is the image? Now BeamNG is loading in. I will stop the music in a moment when I get to the test track. Time trials. It'll be the automation test track somewhere. Ah, yeah. I mean, that makes sense, a manly animal being a wolf. But it's like, how do you call an animal manly? I don't know, like, I made Orello an Arctic fox, which, I don't know, it's like, no one ever talks about Arctic fox characters. But I just worked for her. It's one of those things, it's strange, because some characters just don't get characters, like, designed after them. I just find that odd. This car is making a lot of smoke. I will have to check the sound. I don't think that's too bad. Something's happened with this bumper. Reflections are a little odd on it. How does the interior cam look? You know what? That's actually a pretty good interior cam. The seat is already, like, bent out of shape. No idea how that happened. But it's actually a pretty good interior cam, though, for as far as these things go. The wheel looks massive. So the perspective is probably a little off. But anyway. I've actually got the YouTube window open. Well, I've got the music one, but still. I mean, I quite like this. Looks a little more Volkswagen on the back than it does front. But anyway. I'm gonna just reset it in case I started overheating the engine or anything weird. I don't think I have traction control. I think it just has ABS and... Oh wait, it is working! The steering wheel is working! Yes! And my monitor decides now of all times to threaten to turn off. This is incredibly quiet on the interior. No idea how it manages that. What was this? This was called Little Mountain Drew, I think. The raccoon isn't a Chinese. Okay. I mean, that makes enough sense. But I mean, I'm not sure. Is there actually that many animals that actually come from China? Or... Because it seems like one of those things that they would move to China from other countries. I don't know. This thing does actually sound pretty good. It's quite quiet, but it does sound pretty good. And the steering wheel is working. The steering wheel and the cover are actually turning as I'd hoped. Which I like. Because I wouldn't usually do it on a randomised build like this, but... As I say, I found the code for it, and it was easy enough to just change the prop number and stuff, so... That's what I did. This thing has incredible grip. It does turn a little under brakes, but still. I mean, this thing is going to be wild quick. The gearbox feels a little better than I remember. I recall it being very slow to shift and not being enough gears. It feels like there's more gears here now, probably because I did tighten them up a little. So the gearbox tuning, I reckon, is helping. The whole thing, like, leaps into the air when I get on the brakes. The funny thing is, I can barely see where I'm going because of all the stuff I put on the roof. I just heard the bodywork scraping on the floor, which is strange because it doesn't feel that low to drive. But I did hear some scraping, so a bit odd there. I mean, this is lovely to drive, though. Like, it maybe doesn't look that way, but it is absolutely brilliant to drive. It's just... I find it crazy how this engine makes almost no noise. It's a V16. You would think it would be crazy noisy, but it just isn't. It's not insanely powerful, though. It makes, like, similar power to an E46 BMW M3, but that is still pretty decent overall. Oh dear. Oh dear. I think it's fine mechanically. This car is in an absolute state. But you know what? I think despite that accident, I think it's actually fine. The radiator's taken a hit. I mean, that was just me pushing this too hard. The Maxwell in the back is fine. Like, this thing handles better than it has any right to for how it actually looks. Like, I'm not going to say it's 100% perfect. If nothing else, the aerodynamics are going to be completely balked now. But it does grip. Still, and it does turn. Maybe a bit more understeer there, but I don't know. I can't say for certain. It's not overheating. It shows radiator damage, but it's not overheating from what I can tell. It kind of feels rear-wheel drive, which is interesting. Like, it does grip, but it doesn't feel like it's an all-wheel drive kind of grip. Surprising, because it's got 55% of the power to the back, so it's almost symmetrical all-wheel drive, but it doesn't feel it. It feels rear-wheel drive for the most part. Come on, the power of Maxwell compels you. I do believe the radiator is like completely going, but it's still kind of cooling itself. Okay, the radiator started going, but it's still mostly keeping itself cool. I don't think it's about to expire on this next lap. It might towards the end of it, but not to the point it's going to really affect my performance. I see China has many fish. That's how much I saw at this moment. 4,936 fish, 1269 birds, and yes, I'm reading this while driving. 403 wet, no, 500, almost well, of course. 562 mammals, 403 reptiles, and 345 amphibians. Amphibian species, sorry. And it's one of the 17 mega-drive countries. Mega-diverse countries. I hit the wall there, but look. I'm multitasking. I'm trying at least. While I'm driving. Engine torque, would you... Oh, this vehicle is really overheating. So even if it weren't... Even if I didn't make that slight bump there, I think it's about to go anyway. It's crazy because it went like... Not a full lap, but it went almost a lap. Just fine. And then the radiator just starts going suddenly. All at once. A thoroughly enjoyable drive, though. I am kind of looking forward to the one that the other one I've built. The, what did I call it? The Gordon. Somehow, even as this car is, it's still going. I guess it's because it's an automation car. They don't fail so easily as other ones. On the brakes. I'm amazed it's still driving. For what this vehicle looks like, I'm amazed it still drives as well as it does. And I'm not even thanking the all-wheel drive at this point. It's just like, it had an accident, but somehow didn't damage the vehicle as much as it could have. There we go. 10,000 RPM to shift. And there we go. Has it, it should have counted at least one lap. No, it's counted all three of them. Sometimes it doesn't. Well, that's Fabulous Roadster, which this one is not. Wait, why is it displaying that? Did it get like exactly the same time or something? Okay. I don't know why it's showing it. Little Mountain Drew, here it is. 18th overall. See where the other version is. Wait, so apparently the previous version of this is the fastest car on the leaderboard, but this one isn't. I can only blame myself for that, because I don't think it's a car per se. I think of a truck. I think it's mainly just the fact that I completely destroyed its runs and had an accident. And there is a lot of smoke coming out of there. Doesn't seem like it'll be healthy at all. Could turn my headphones up a little, actually. And have I gone off the... I think I went off the live streaming window. One moment. Okay, it's live, but I like clicked off the window, so it wasn't displaying what was actually kind of broadcasting. I have brought it back up now again. That was strange. The fact it even let me just click off it like that. Anyway, I'll get the other one now, the Gordon, and I will see the... It's called, what is it? Time Trials, there we go. Easier to set up than the first time, because most of it's already configured. The Wheel Gordon, yes. 400 horsepower, probably no ability to handle it. But I can see. I mean, there's 265 width tyres, even if they're cross-plies. And it brakes okay, because it doesn't weigh very much, so... What I can do is hope. I might as well mention at this point that fish can be gambled in the slots, so that's a thing. How does this interior work? Interior view is completely broken on that. Okay. You know, this does actually sound good. I think it's a flat 6. Actually, okay. I'm just being dumb here because I didn't launch it while I was in the wrong gear and everything. I don't think it has drive mode, so I was going to turn it off if it gave me the option, but I think it's just ABS. Oh dear. I didn't throw it away quite yet there. But that understeer was awful. I think I'm just expecting the same as that, what was it called? But it was, ah dear, like, I've put it on comfort again. I want sport at least, for all it's worth, even if it means nothing. This just breaks in a straight line. Gambling the bread, yes. All the bread must be gambled. This is, like, this car is worse than I expected in all the ways I didn't expect it to be bad. Like, it drives okay, but the brakes, it just doesn't brake very well. It's not too bad under acceleration, it's just the brakes. I'm scared of slowing in this thing because of how they are. Oh dear, it's wandering, it's wandering. I step on it and it just wanders like either left or right with no control. I'm going to give it a fair amount of turning lock. This is not slow, it's an interesting experience. I mean, it's not fast, it's an interesting experience, but it is not fast. I mean, it is on 10-inch wheels. That's probably not going to help. But I don't think that's why the brakes are to blame. Unless they're, like, overheating, which I don't think they should be. Because it's, like, carbon ceramics on the front. Even if they're tiny, they shouldn't necessarily be overheating this easily. Like, as I say, you just step on it, and it just begins to wander, either left or right. I'll look up a Skoda Felicia when I've driven this. This thing is like currently scaring me. I feel like I'm gonna hit into a wall going at about 15 miles per hour. You see, like, it just understeers. If you do get it going where you want it to, it wanders from left to right. Honestly, I'll have to see it, but I don't think it's gonna be any dumber than some of the things the wheel has built. The wheel has built some absolutely atrocious creations. This is, I wouldn't say it shouldn't be one of the atrocious creations. I think I'll have to go back and tune it because something is just fundamentally flawed with how it's set up. I just can't quite see what it is. Oof. Maybe it's just impossibly low to the ground. Like I could hear it hitting those bumps, which it shouldn't have been throwing the car off as they did. I feel this car could be good with the right setup, but it's just not set up right. Granted, for how it looks, I feel like you could expect it to be slow at least. Just looking at it, you wouldn't expect it to be quick. I feel like the alignment might be messed up. Like it may be turning to the right a little more. Oh dear, I'm going off. Somehow the grass actually made this handle better around that corner and understeer less. I was literally trying to cut that corner and it couldn't even do that. You know what it is? I think I know what it is with this car. I haven't paid my handling subscription. I haven't paid my good handling subscription. It also said download the app. I'm not sure my app is up to date, so it doesn't know how to handle because it's using an out-of-date application on my phone. Oh! Somehow it took that and it's still going. Actually, that doesn't seem to have done any damage as far as I can tell. That's perhaps the most interesting thing of all. That seemed like a big hit on my part. That doesn't seem to have damaged it as much as like going over those bumps at the end of the first lap. They seem to cause more damage to the alignment than just hitting into the wall. The unfortunate thing is this car was so close to being perfect. Well, not perfect, but if they gave this race tyres, or should I say it because it's a wheel, if a wheel gave this race tyres of some description, this would have actually been pretty good, I suspect. I just don't think these tyres have the kind of grip you want. It'd probably just be beaten by something with far less power. Probably be beaten by something with half the power. Like the Toasty wheels had just over half the power. Honestly, the Mystery Party Wagon, even going way back to that would probably beat it. Because that car could control its 195-ish horsepower. This is just not controllable. Like you see there. I was being extremely careful not to hit the wall there, and it was so close to actually driving into it. I just gave up on going fast at that point because I was like, just don't hit the wall. Whatever you do, don't hit the wall. I mean, it's on 265 with medium tyres. It should have some grip. Like, it shouldn't be as bad as it is. I feel like I've built cars on hard tyres that drive better than this. And they're supposed to be inferior to the mid-grade tyres. One thing I can say, it doesn't tip over. It doesn't feel like it's even close to tipping over. I can say that's a nice thing about it. Okay, third gear. I'm going to have to go into second while I'm still kind of on the straight because the thing is just going that slow. Come on, into first. So it's spinning up the wheels there. I'm going to try and get the best lap I can here. But I can't even go full on the brakes because if I do that, it's just gonna fly straight into whatever wall is in front of me, or at least close to being directly in front of me. And I can't see what's behind because I didn't pay my mirror subscription, so that's always a downside. I probably slowed down too much there, but I want the controllability. Or that can happen. Somehow it actually got out of that issue quite well. I don't know, like, if that's invalidated the lap, then gone are my chances of getting a good time. If it hasn't, it's still been a decent enough run as far as a messed up build like this can have. Ah! For one thing I can give this vehicle, it takes a lot of abuse and it just doesn't fail. And it's overheating as well. Almost. Like, I've been abusing this. I've knocked the wheels about in ways that I feel should honestly have knocked them off, and they haven't fallen off, which I think that's a pretty nice thing to say. Maybe it's because it's got like partial aluminium bodywork, so mostly steel, and it's tiny. So, you know, higher concentration of metal, I guess you could say, in a space. I mean, if this is actually quick, I would be so surprised. Because you see, I'm having to go to second gear there because it just, otherwise it won't get any kind of power down to the road. I mean, it's got 4 gears and I'm having to go down to even first here. And still, like, that close to hitting the wall when I've gone down to first gear. It would probably have survived hitting the wall, but still. I don't know what to say. It handles like it's from the 1940s. Yeah, this is slow. So the one valid lap I got was an 8:54. I think, no it wasn't, that was a total time. Ignore me. Either way, it's not showing, so I think it's invalidated my laps because I kept going off the road, but you get the idea. It's slow. Very slow. To finish like that far down, even with cars that have tipped over and stuff and gone off the course. Which is a shame, because I feel like this car could have done so much more. I'm going to just try and like have a look at it though from a different perspective now to see. Wait. The gearbox is being weird. I put it into first and it was like going into neutral. I put it into second and it was going into it was going into first. Okay, so I can kind of see it. Maybe it is just a tyre width issue. Wait, from what I'm seeing here, it looks like that wheel is not even being fully attached. And this is like a freshly reset vehicle. What's going on there? That is just downright weird. It's like, it's almost like the wheel has too much grip and it just can't quite turn it. That is the weirdest issue I've seen on not even the wheel built cars, but just anything that have built an automation. That the wheel just won't turn. All I can think is maybe it's to do with the bodywork, maybe it's to do with a wheel hitting the engine, or I don't know, but it's very strange, no matter what's actually happening with it. And then the pickup truck was brilliant, so I can't have a working steering wheel of it because I would do the dash and stuff and it's inconvenient. But anyway, yeah. Oh, the mirror's glitching out as well. It can't even say I need my mirror subscription properly. At least the side mirror works. At least the side mirror can remind me I need my mirror subscription. The major screen has a serious defect, though, I think. I will look at the Skoda Felicia. Oh, Skoda Felicia Fun. Anyway, I think, see, that honestly, that does not seem as bad as I expected. It's strange, but it's just like a hatchback-based truck. I mean, I've seen worse, that's what I'll say. It's a very odd vehicle, but it's like someone chopped the back off a Volkswagen Polo. It's the best way I can describe it. Yeah, the let's go to Felicia Fun. It's I don't know, were they all yellow? Because it brought up a load of yellow ones. That's probably the strangest thing about it, honestly, if they only made them in yellow. So, I don't know. I might as well bring these out. Like, I had a bit of fun making these. Basically, I stripped out a 2-litre Pessima, and I removed the exhaust and put race tyres on it. Like, this is more fun than it has any right to be. So, you know, I just saw this. I thought I might bring it up. Yeah. I mean, I quite like it, honestly. This vehicle, anyway, like, this is pretty quick. It's a 2-litre. Yeah. I mean, as I say, that's probably the strangest thing about it, that they only offered it in yellow. I mean, as a random aside, as I say, I just had some fun building these things a few days back. Like, it's dangerous. You can basically fall out the interior if you've not got your seatbelt on, but... man, is this fun. Oh! I did not hit the wall. Like, as I say, it's just so much crazy good fun, and I didn't even have a camera positioned correctly. It also has no exhaust, so it's kind of loud. And then there is one more I will show, which I think worked out quite well. It was the Lansdale. I think it's a good fun point to finish off at. If only I could find where it's there. It's Soylad Lansdale. Now, there's a stripped race van. I think this is it. I made a pink one as well, which is a lot quicker. But this one is slower and perhaps more fun. It started off as a van, and then I gave it like the updated engine management, so it makes 150 horse and ETK wheels on race tyres. But this is just a it's also got a manual. This is just a random creation. This was actually what made me build the Pessima, because this was so much fun. It sounds pretty good as well. Like, this should not sound as good as it does for a little 4-cylinder. I think it's got a 4-speed manual. So it's actually got the same speed as that pickup truck. And the Gordon as well. They all have the same number of gears. And don't get me wrong, this car is dangerous, but it handles better than it has any right to. So it's like just crazy good fun driving this stuff. And then you realise you've only got 150 horsepower and it doesn't accelerate on the straightaways at all. Hey, I didn't hit that wall. I made progress. It's like, you have no safety with this whatsoever, though. Like, you fall out the car because it's got too much grip. Well, that's just how it's built. You can't blame the car for it. It's totally not the car's fault. It's quite light as well, though, for what this is. For, well, say for an MPV. Because, well, there's nothing much left of it. I want to attack these bumps and see how it takes it. Oh, I broke my car. It takes it okay. I broke my car anyway. The fact it still goes is kind of impressive. But anyway, given how that could have gone wrong, it was a small accident. I will be leaving it here for today anyway. Because I don't know. I think it's been a fun time building these vehicles. Let's bring a pickup truck out again. Bit more an optimistic build than the Gordon, which didn't turn out very well as I'd like at all. Sounds good, if not the loudest. Anyway, as I say, I will leave it here for today. And I will say goodbye until another day.